when a youngster named Sonny Jurgensen quarterbacked the Eagles to a dramatic last-second win against the team who would later lead the Washington Redskins. 2 years later, the Redskins got their revenge. Norm Snead led Washington to victory. But what's ironic is that these two quarterbacks, Snead and Jurgensen, would trade teams in 1964. It has also been a series where anything can happen. Relative unknowns have stolen the spotlight. Remember Tony Green? In 1978, he returned a punt 80 yards to give Washington a win. And last year, Andre Waters' 89-yard kickoff return gave Philadelphia an upset victory and almost cost the Redskins a playoff berth. Today, it's Philadelphia's turn to travel down I-95. It's their 100th meeting. The Eagles and the Redskins coming up from the nation's capital on CBS.
CBS Sports presents the National Football League. Today, the Philadelphia Eagles against the Washington Redskins.
It's a bit on the humid side here in Washington, D.C. Another capacity crowd, more than 55,000 on hand at RFK Stadium. Temperature 76 degrees. We may get some rain later. And Hank, this is the second week in a row we've seen the Eagles play.
I tell you, Jack, I'd hate to be a defensive lineman on the Washington Redskins team today because Randall Cunningham, boy, he can drive you crazy. He can get you tired in a hurry. He's a scrambler. He's a mover. He makes things happen. He's a very exciting young player.
We'll have to wait a while to see him because the Redskins have won the toss and they'll receive. Paul McFadden will kick off. The referee there is Chuck Heberling. And the deep man for the Redskins is Ken Jenkins. He's averaged 24 yards plus per kickoff return. So we'll get an early idea about this sputtering Washington Redskin offense, and it has them concerned over here.
It's unusual to come to Washington or talk to the Washington players and people and have them so concerned about their offensive personality.
They have a record of 1-1. The Eagles are 0-2, and McFadden boots it away. And Jenkins goes to it, and it goes out of bounds, and so the Eagles already assure themselves of a kickoff return by the Redskins because they'll have to kick off from the 30-yard line. This kicker, by the way, is a powerful booter. He's kicked 2 field goals this year, one of 45 and the other of 50 yards. But the poor Eagles haven't scored a touchdown all season.
You know, I was on the field with him before the game, Jack, and talked to him and asked about kicking on synthetic turf compared to kicking on grass, which he's kicking on today. He said, you know, usually I'd much rather kick on synthetic turf, but the grass is so beautiful here that this is not going to be a problem. I like it very, very much. And he also said he's going to kick off with the wind. So that's where he's kicking right now. And
it was 1980 when the Eagles last won here. And the two teams split last season. Jenkins now inside his 10 and comes to the ball at the 15-yard line, 20, 25, 33-yard line, and that's where Theismann and company will go to work. And here are the lineups, offensively and defensively. Theismann as John Riggins as the lone setback, Art Monk and Calvin Muhammad, the wide receivers, 2 tight ends, Don Warren and Clint Didier. Their offensive line, the Hogs they call them, are anchored by Rick Donnelly the center, Joe Jacoby and Russ Grimm on the left side, Ken Huff and Mark May on the right side. A downfield tackle made by John Good, the new tight end of the Eagles. And the Redskins are at their 33. Motion by Monk. And a fake to Riggins. A pass to Monk at the sideline. Good yards. And the tackle was made at the 41-yard line by Herman Edwards. The defensive alignment for the Eagles. Byron Darby in place of Tom Struthers at left end. Ken Clark, the nose guard. And Greg Brown on the right side. Their linebackers, Wilkes is their best. Reichenbach, Griggs, and Cobb. They're still missing Jerry Robinson. And they're missing Dennis Harrison. And in the backfield, Young, Edwards, Ellis, and Hopkins. Hopkins, the big hitter. They have 8 great defensive backs on this Eagles club. And it is 2nd down and 3. Motion by Didier. Here's Riggins. Didier with a block. 1st down, Riggins. A over the left side, typical Washington offense.
Jack, that time they were an unbalanced line to the right side. Joe Jacoby went from his left tackle position to the right tackle position outside of Mark May. And Don Warren, number 85, played his position on the left side. They come back to the weak side. Here you see Riggins. And they get a good block at the point of attack. Don Warren does a good job of blocking, and he gets a nice piece of yardage on the first play from an unbalanced line to the right side.
Reichenbach made the tackle at the Washington 48-yard line. And a wobbly pass was batted down. He tried to get it downfield, and Greg Brown came in and whacked Theismann, and it's second down and 10. I think that first pass was thrown in front of Herman Edwards. Is that significant?
I think it is, because I think he's very deep conscious. He's a very cagey veteran. Is very careful not to get anybody behind him. He plays about 9 yards deep, as do both corners. So it's very obvious that they're going to try to do a little business in front of the defensive backs whenever they can, and especially on 1st and 10.
3 wide receivers, Monk and Muhammad to the left. Monk in motion for Didier, the other wide receiver. Theismann a screen to Riggins. It's read well, and down he goes. Very, very good work by the linebacker. First of all, Gary Cobb. He didn't stop the play, but he allowed Anthony Griggs to do so.
Anthony Griggs, number 58, really did a super job of reacting to the screen pass. It looked like it was going to be a good call, but he responded to the inside and made the play and stopped it from being any kind of a big play or a successful play.
Instead, they lost 2, and it's 3rd down and 12.
Now they have 7 defensive backs in the game, 4 linemen, 7 defensive backs.
Muhammad to the right along with Monk. Didier to the left. Griffin in the backfield. He's in the pass pattern. Theismann throws to the sideline and overthrows everybody. Incomplete. Tried to get it to Muhammad. Boo, say the fans, because Theismann hasn't hit a stride yet this year. And Roynell Young was covering, and the punter, Jeff Hayes, is into the game.
You know, they haven't won a game yet, the Philadelphia Eagles, but I tell you, they're a very, very good defensive team. And if they can generate any kind of an offensive scheme here today, why, this could be a very exciting, very interesting game.
They're not very pleased with Hayes punting either. He has a pretty fair average, as you saw, of 41 plus. There's Evan Cooper. He's a threat with a 13-yard return average.
Overall, Jack, they're not very pleased with any phase of the specialty team. It's usually very good.
Cronin snapped the ball, and Hayes thumped it. The fair catch is called for and taken at the 14-yard line by Cooper. And you saw that new fair catch signal. You just can't stick your hand up in the air. You have to wave your hand. That was a 40-yard punt. Here's the lineup for the Eagles. Randall Cunningham, the exciting rookie, starting his 2nd game. Ernest Jackson, formerly of San Diego, the running back. Kenny Jackson and Mike Quick, the wide receivers, and Michael Haddix and John Spagnola, tight ends. Vito Cav is out of the lineup. The offensive line, the rookie Kevin Allen, Steve Kenny, Mark Dennard. Ron Baker is playing. He didn't start last week. And Leonard Mitchell at the right tackle. Here's Cunningham and company from their 14. Trying to get the running game going. Ernest Jackson is good for a couple. You almost do the Redskins a favor when you run against this big defensive line. It's a 4-man front with Charles Mann, Dave Butts, Darrell Grant, Dexter Manley. Nothing has changed there. The linebackers, a new starter on the left. Instead of Kaufman, it's Coleman, Olkowitz in the middle, and Malott. And the deep backs on the corners, Darrell Green and Bernardine. Green the fastest of them all. Tony Peters, the strong safety, and Curtis Jordan, free safety.
One thing you know, when they run, they're not going to run to their right over Dave Butts.
Here's a toss, and look at that coverage to Michael Haddix. And the Redskin defense was right there, and you really do a favor to the Redskins when you run the ball, Hank.
Well, yeah, especially sideways, because they respond so well. That time, talking about Butts, he plays left tackle, number 65, usually very strong, his stuff right at him. But even though the play went outside, he was still coming from the inside, took a beautiful angle, and made the play.
From the Philadelphia 18-yard line, 3rd down and 6.
There are 5 defensive backs in the game.
Quick to the right along with Jackson. Garrity, the other wide receiver. First pass by Cunningham. Here he comes. He stumbles. He's trying for a first down, and he got it. He got it across the 25, and that's typical of the kid. He's 6'4", 195, tackled by Rich Malott. Even though he stumbled, he got the first Philadelphia first down.
That's the one thing, you know, if you give him something up the middle. Now watch the rush of the defensive lineman. They're taking an outside charge, and then Grant goes inside. Look at the middle area, pop wide open. He makes a move on Butts. Butts tries to grab him, but misses. Then he makes a move on Cherry. Cherry finally makes the tackle. He runs 9 yards, but that's the kind of ability he has. He makes things happen.
And it's out to the Eagle 26. Here comes Jackson. He ran very hard and went across the 30 out near the 33-yard line. Ernest Jackson was acquired in a trade with San Diego. Darrell Grant, Rich Malott made the defensive play for the Redskins.
I think also when you play the Redskins, you're not going to run right very much, especially straight ahead. When you do run, you're going to try to run left. Dexter Manley is such a great pass rusher. I think people feel they should run at him to slow down the rush, and that's why they run left more so than they run right.
Maddox and Hunter are in the backfield. Maddox is on a wing. And they stop things cold, don't they? And it was Manley and Butts right on top of Hunter, the rookie out of Tennessee State, making it third down and about 4 or 5 yards.
Talking to Butts at practice the other day, I asked about his condition, and because he came in a little late, he says he feels great. He's completely well and healthy, and he's at a stage in his career where he's playing more consistently well than he's ever played in his whole career.
3rd and 4. Now you have to wonder whether you have to defense against the pass or the running of the quarterback.
You're right. But I would think that the Eagles would be much better throwing a lot more on 1st and 10 as the game goes along.
Here he comes, and there's running room. He needs a block. He gets another first down. He's something. I tell you, he's something. Neil Okowicz made the tackle, and of course we all know this kid is starting in place of Ron Jaworski. What did the coach, Marion Campbell, tell us about starting Cunningham?
We'll come right back to that in a minute. There's a replay. And watch the line. They got an inside stunt. And watch number 51, Coleman, gets caught on the inside. He takes the ball up in the air like he's going to throw it and runs for another big gain and a first down. I tell you, he is really something. Okowicz, number 52, made the tackle.
That's a first down from the 44. Fumble, and the Redskins had it, and they do have it. It was fumbled by the rookie, Herman Hunter, and Okowicz landed on the football on the missed exchange. There's a flag down. I thought maybe the Redskins were offside when the ball was snapped. And there is a flag. Let's see what they talk about. Monty Coleman may have been offside.
I think it was Haddix. I think it might have been Michael Haddix, number 26, illegal procedure, Jack. Let's see what they call, but that might have been who they called it on.
I think they're going to get the ball back. The Eagles are going to get the ball back.
Offside, defense, number 51.
Oh.
First down.
Yeah, it was Monty Coleman. He beat the snap.
He sure did.
And there's Joe Gibbs, and things of that sort have been happening to him this year. 3 fumbles, 5 interceptions for the Redskins. 7 interceptions. A total of 10 turnovers, 2 games. 1st and 5 at the Philadelphia 49.
Throw the ball on 1st and 10, but they don't.
They plow straight ahead, and Okowicz made the tackle.
That, of course, Jack, was a 1st and 5 situation, but talking about throwing a pass on 1st down, I think as they go along, I'm sure that we'll see more of that as we progress during the course of the contest.
Haddix got pretty good yards, though, Hank. He got 7.
Yeah, they got a good surge from the offensive line. Steve Kenny, the left guard, and Kevin Allen, they like him very much, especially on run responsibilities. He still has a long way to go pass blocking-wise, but he comes off the ball very well.
2nd and 3, and a high stepping back. Herman Hunter, the rookie, gets part of that 3 yards, short of a first down. Coleman made the tackle. Mel Kaufman has a pinched nerve in his neck, and that's why Coleman is starting at the left linebacker spot. Here's the head coach of the Eagles. What did he tell us about starting Cunningham and about the owner?
We asked him about who made the decision about the quarterback situation. Did the owner or did he make it? He said, I definitely made the decision, and if I were made to make the decision by the owner, I would have quit right on the spot. Ron Jaworski is now calling signal from the sidelines. I'll talk about him in a minute.
3rd and 1 and a first down run. Good penetration. Okowicz was coming on the play, but he ran right by Ernest Jackson, who got a first down.
I talked to Jaworski before the game, and I said, how'd your week go? He said, it went fine. He said, I'm disappointed that I'm not playing, but I'm going to do everything I possibly can to help the young quarterback and help this team win. And it's a great attitude, and I think it typifies the unselfish attitude of Ron Jaworski, who's been such an outstanding quarterback for the Eagles for such an extended period of time.
This is a good drive, isn't it?
It certainly is, and just stick it to him very well.
And a first down at the Redskin 41. And the fake to Jackson in the pass. And is wide open in it to the other Jackson down inside the 20 to Kenny Jackson. And Curtis Jordan made the hit. There's your first down throw, Hank.
That was a double zone. That was a zone defense that time, and Kenny Jackson, number 81. No.
Yeah, that's right.
Kenny Jackson has got time to throw the ball. He anchors between the defensive back, and Curtis Jordan finally makes the tackle, but he squats right in that open area, and the ball is thrown like it's right on the trolley line, and they have a first down.
22-yard pickup. Quick goes to the right. Garrity to the left. Tight end Spagnola on the right side. Here is a delay to Haddix. Bounces outside and gets yards inside the 15-yard line. A few missed tackles by the Redskins. Curtis Jordan finished it off on Herman Hunter. Good run by Hunter.
But that was a misdirection play, a counter play, with both the right guard and the right tackle pulling on the play. And he takes a counter step to the right side to give the lineman enough chance to get out in front. And they popped open a nice hole, plus the fact that he ran right through some tacklers. And Curtis Jordan, number 22, finally made the tackle.
It's 2nd and 5. Hunter is the setback, a toss. Look out, kid. Down he goes. Malott, we're right on top of him. Malott fought off the block and did not miss on the tackle. 3rd and long.
Malott was blitzing on the play, number 57, watching. And he comes through there, gets penetration. And Kevin Allen, the left tackle, number 72, looks like he was trying to block him. But he missed him, didn't get out there quick enough, and really didn't get out there and get a good enough angle.
3rd and 10 as a result. Extra defensive back. Cherry is in there for the Redskins. Quick is to the right. Jackson to the left. Look out! A flag goes down as Cunningham ran and was dropped by Dexter Manley, number 72. Second flag of the game. Procedure against the Eagles. It may be declined, and the Eagles will try a field goal.
Boy, Haddix was wide open on the play. He didn't have a chance to seek him out and get the ball to him. Dexter Manley got good pressure. And I talked to Chuck.
Illegal formation offense, 6 men on the line. The penalty is declined. It's 4th down.
What's wrong with 6 men on the line?
Nothing if they don't catch it.
You got to have 7, right?
Got to have 7. Or 8, or 9, or 10, but you can't have less than 7.
Jaworski holding. 42-yard try for McFadden. He thumps it through, and the underdog Eagles take the lead here. And it's 3-0. They're 2 touchdown underdogs, but the Eagles are on top. 41-yard field goal. It's warm and muggy here in Washington, and things may be hot for the Redskins. That running game is going pretty well for the Eagles.
It really is, and I think the important thing, Jack, is they're really running away from butts, which is obvious, and they're making things happen straight ahead and doing a good job of coming off the line of scrimmage. Both Steve Kenny, Kevin Allen, and also Mark Dinner.
And here's McFadden kicking off to Ken Jenkins. Redskins had to punt the last time they had the football. Well, the Eagle defense got it for the offense, and they picked up 3 points. There is Jenkins. That's what he did previously today. Anytime you're ready, Chuck. A little discussion along the sideline. We have a couple of scores of other games. The Giants jump out in front of St. Louis in the Meadowlands, 7-0 first quarter. And Dallas ahead of the visiting Cleveland Browns, 3-0 in the first quarter. Now we're ready, and away we go. Jenkins takes it on the 7. Never got a full head of steam. He's shy of the 25-yard line. How, Hank, are the Redskins going to make use of both Riggins and Rogers?
I think the important thing is really they're going to use Riggins as much as they possibly can, but the great thing about it is, you know, he's been hurt in the past, and he's had to play hurt because he felt an obligation to the team. Talking to him yesterday, that's exactly what he said. Now he doesn't feel he has to play. If he's not ready to play, Rogers will fill in for him, and he does an extremely good job.
There's a toss to Riggins. And he comes across the 25 out near the 28. Both Rogers and Riggins have been doing great work for the Redskins, and their accomplishments are about equal. Gary Cobb made that tackle. Look at this. Couldn't be more even, could it?
No, you talk about balance. Look at the balance. Both rushes for 28 yards, 128 to 25, 4.6 and 4.5. You couldn't ask for better balance than that.
Riggins picked up 3. And there's John, a close-up look. How much do you weigh, we said? What did he say?
He said, I weigh myself twice a year, and I don't know what I weigh.
Here's a draw. He weighs quite a bit now with the Eagles hanging on to him. It's going to be 3rd down and long, and Byron Darby starting at the left defensive end spot in place of Tom Struthers, who has a bad ankle, made that tackle. Struthers can play today, by the way.
The other great thing, talking to John Riggins, we asked about his running and following his good offensive linemen, especially Jacoby and Grimm, and he said, you know, I have one rule of thumb, and that is to follow the freeway over 66 and 68. Don't take any back roads, just follow the freeway.
Griffin is in the backfield on 3rd down.
7 defensive backs.
Over the middle and tipped. And that was Wes Hopkins. He got his hands up and knocked it down, and the Redskins have to punt again. And what's the matter? Mr. Theismann is hot. What role does Hopkins play in their backfield for the Eagles?
I think he's probably one of the most unheralded guys in the National Football League. I think he's a definite all-pro bowler. I think he should be on the Pro Bowl team. He should have been last year. He's a terrific player, and he was involved in the coverage on that last play.
Jeff Hayes punting for the 2nd time. Evan Cooper back to get it. Theismann, by the way, is 1 out of 5. The Eagles leading 3-0. Will get the ball back. Oh, what a dandy kick. That's right, Cooper way back to the 16. Watch it. He's out of bounds at about the 22-yard line. So the Eagles get it for the 2nd time. There are no flags that I see. And the tackle was made by Rick Walker of the Redskins. That's one of the few times you see a kick return with no flags. We're in the 1st quarter. 2:56 remaining in the period. Well, there was a flag. There is a flag. That was a 54-yard punt.
I didn't think that was ever coming down.
What, the flag?
No, the ball.
Oh. 2:56 left in the 1st quarter. The Eagles may want him to kick it over because he's not going to kick much better than he did, 54 yards. Apparently they have the choice. Referee Chuck Heberling trying to square things away, talking to Spagnuolo. Bring it back, he said.
Yeah, he pummeled that ball, and it just makes sense to make him try to kick it again. Very rarely will he have that kind of a kick back-to-back.
Especially when you have
illegal receiver down the field, number 78 on the offense, 4th down.
One of the Redskins was too exuberant. That was Dean Hamill, the rookie out of Tulsa. We have some scores of other games as they set up to punt again. Pittsburgh ahead of Houston, 7-0. Malone, a 25-yard pass to Lips. 1st quarter. Denver's atop of Atlanta in the 1st quarter. And San Diego by 3 over Cincinnati. It's not as cold there today as it was when San Diego played that title game, is it?
Better not be this early in the season. It is. We really got a scoop, Jack.
Cronin will snap the ball. Low snap. Jeff Hayes handles it. Another good kick. And Cooper took it on the 25. Got away from 2, but not the 3rd. A 1-yard return. Very good coverage, and the Eagles have been crying about their special teams coverage. Pete Cronin, who snapped the ball, made the tackle. Eagles have it at their 26 after a 50-yard punt. Eagles lead 3-0.
Had a good picture of Joe Gibbs on the sideline, and we had a nice visit with Joe the other day, and he was very concerned about two things, naturally, just like you'd imagine. Very concerned about his specialty teams and very concerned about the offense. He hoped that they would go into this game and be a lot sharper and do a lot better. So far, they haven't done much, but it's early in the game. But that was his concern, and after this early in the game, he has to still be concerned.
He's concerned about his kid who's playing high school quarterback, too.
He's worried about his health.
From the 26. Ernest Jackson, the tailback, and they give it to him. He unloads, but they can't move him out as Neil Olkowitz and Darrell Grant and Dave Butts were all there. Butts is not always anchored at the left tackle spot. He'll move around, move inside once in a while.
But overall, I've never seen him cover so much territory as I have seen him cover in this game so far. He normally is very, very aggressive and stuff right at him, but he's made plays to his outside and also his inside and is covering a lot of real estate.
Second down and 8 for the Redskins with Randall Cunningham. Coming outside is Herman Hunter. Turns the corner and has a first down out to the 37-yard line. Curtis Jordan was the tackler. Number 11 pick, Herman Hunter. His running average before today was 1 yard per carry.
That was that counter play again with both the guard and the tackle pulling on the left side, both Kevin Allen and Steve Kenny, and they got around Charles Mann, number 71, and that's why he was able to succeed in making yardage on the play.
2 minutes left in the first quarter. First down at their 37 for Philadelphia. Wiggins to the right, Jackson to the left. The other Jackson really getting off the ball. Crosses the 40-yard line, and he picked up 5 yards. And let's go to New York from Brent Musburger.
Jack, the Cardinals have just tied the New York Giants at 7. It's their favorite combination, Neil Lomax to Roy Green. You live back in St. Louis. You know Green hasn't practiced much for the Cardinals, has he?
No, Brent, he's had a bad foot, and he had a very inactive week, but he's busy on Sundays. Second down, and racing with the ball is Hunter. Back where he started. It's going to be third down and 9. They all came pouring through there.
There again, Jack, they run the counter play, the same one they ran to the right side a moment ago. They run to the left with Ron Baker and Leonard Mitchell pulling on the play. But
Olkowitz and Grant were there, 52 and 77.
Watch the right tackle pull on the play. But look at the reaction. Look at the reaction. Malott, number 57, is in there, makes a play along with Dexter Manley, number 72.
Third and 8. Look at Quick. Can't get there. He was wide open, wasn't he? He ran by the speedster on the corner, Darrell Green, but Cunningham overthrew him for 6.
I couldn't see that time, Jack, whether he made any kind of a move on Green, because Green responds very quickly to what he sees, and usually double moves are very effective. I don't know whether he did that or not. I didn't get a chance to see it.
Here's the first punt of the day by Mike Horan. He's had plenty of practice in the first 2 games with 14, and there's his average. And back to get it is Jenkins at his 20. Left-footed kicker hangs it high. He thumped it. Jenkins is driven back. Whoa! He got away, and now he's down at about the 10-yard line. He'd have been wise to leave that ball alone, Hank.
He lost where he was. He never should have tried to make the play, Jack. A rule definitely, you know, if it's inside the 10-yard line, let it go and bounce, and it'll go into the end zone. Percentage-wise, you get it on the 20.
Redskins are at their 9. The head coach of the Eagles, Marion Campbell, liked that 57-yard punt by Mike Horan. Tackled by Waters, who was shaken off but walked off the field, and the Redskins have the ball for the 3rd time. They're at their 9, and here comes Riggins. And he is out near the 14-yard line. And we have 25 seconds left in the first quarter with the Eagles leading 3-0. Tackled by Anthony Griggs and Gary Cobb, who slid off a block.
And Clint Didier, number 86, got a good block that time and provided John with some good running room on the inside.
I think the Redskins are going to take the time, let it crank down. We'll have the gun the end of the first quarter, and they'll have 2nd and 5 from their own 14 when we start the second period. The only scoring, a 41-yard field goal by Paul McFadden of the Eagles. There's Riggins, who just got 5 yards. They call these cheerleaders the Redskinettes. They're a great marching band, and this is the 144th consecutive sellout here at RFK Stadium. 2nd and 5 from the 14 with Riggins. Nope. They got about a yard and a half. Had to work hard for that in the arms of Mike Reichenbach and Harry Cobb.
And there again. Oh, excuse me, Jack.
I was going to say Cobb, number 50, came over from Detroit, and they like it.
They really do. He's done a good job for them, and that time they ran the play that they like very much, counter Trey, a counter play with Riggins carrying the ball and both the left tackle and the left guard, Russ Grimm and Joe Jacoby, pulling and trying to make a play, but they reacted very well. Talking about the Eagles.
They put some defensive backs in there, don't they?
Yeah.
Fouls and...
They got 7 of them in there.
Heisman on 3rd and 4, and dropped by Gary Clark, the rookie out of James Madison, and the Redskins are going to have to punt again. Hank, when you come on the field, you're a 14-point favorite. You ought to be able to take charge, but that hasn't happened, has it?
No, it hasn't, and that time they got exactly what they wanted. They had Albert Fowles, number 29, covering Clark man for man. He made a move to the inside, and he just dropped the ball. He should have caught the ball, but didn't, and of course that's the way they've been playing offensively. Just have not made anything happen. Talking about the Redskins, and of course you have to give a lot of credit to the defense of the Philadelphia Eagles. They're playing great football.
This is the 3rd punt by Jeff Hayes. Evan Cooper is at his 45.
They ought to come out of here with pretty good field
Oh,
position.
snap by Cronin. There's the kick. Oh, another dig. Hung that one out to dry. He took it back at the 32, 35. 40-yard line is Cooper, and 44. Pretty gutsy return to the 44-yard line. And he was tackled by Dean Hamill, the Redskin rookie. Eagles leading. Have the ball.
Everything else is just a light. U.S. Armed Forces. It's a great place to start. And by National Car Rental. You deserve national attention.
These cheerleaders trying to whoop up a little action from the crowd, Hank, but the Redskins play has silenced the crowd. It's usually a din over here in the stadium, isn't it?
It really is, and of course they just getting off to a slow start again. And you have to give an awful lot of credit to the Eagles for playing like they're playing right now. And again, as I mentioned earlier, this young quarterback, I tell you, he can make things happen.
Quickers to the left, Jackson to the right. First down pass, Cunningham. Sets up, throws on the run, and it's wide open and caught by Spagnola inside the 30, 25, 20, 19-yard line. The coach, Spagnola caught in the tackle by Oakowitz. The coach, Marion Campbell, told us about Cunningham. He said there's only one guy who has a quicker release than he, and he plays down in Miami. There's Vernon Dean, the cornerback, slow in getting up.
And watch this again. Look at the 4-man rush. Baker, they double team. Look at all the middle, right up the middle. They double team Butts. He's able to go right up the middle and find Spagnola on the sideline. He makes the catch, runs good. Once he makes the reception, takes up a first down.
But now the Redskins at the 20-yard line stop that running play by Haddix after a yard and a half. Cunningham, by the way, threw for 35 yards to Spagnola.
He's 2 for 3 for 57 yards so far in this game.
Tony Peters and Vernon Dean made that last tackle, so Vernon Dean is all right after being shaken up. 2nd and 8. Jackson and Haddix in the backfield. Cunningham to throw. Outside in the corner, quick, incomplete. Threw the ball out of bounds. Darrell Green was covering. Indianapolis jumps ahead of the favored and undefeated Lions, 7-0 in the first quarter. New England is ahead of winless Buffalo, 3-0 in the second quarter. New Orleans out in front of Tampa Bay, 7-0 first quarter. And Atlanta's caught Denver. They're 7-7 in the first quarter. Cincinnati goes ahead of San Diego. Esiason a touchdown pass to Collingwood. And Dallas ahead of Cleveland 10-0 second quarter. Out of the shotgun on 3rd and 8. defensive backs for the Redskins. The blitz is on. The pass outside and incomplete to Kenny Jackson. Diving effort, but incomplete.
Butch got pretty good penetration that time, number 65, and got his hands up in the air. But boy, I tell you, when he sets and throws the ball, he throws it like a frozen root. Watch the pressure. Watch Manley coming from the outside. And here comes
Malott up the slot.
Malott, number 57, blitzing on the play and puts pressure on the quarterback.
36-yard try by McFadden. Kicked one of 41 earlier. And he makes it 6-0 in favor of the Eagles with 12:33 left in the half. So now the Redskins trail by 6. Well, there's the Eagles' offense, Hank.
Yeah, he kicked 2 field goals last week. He's got 2 already so far. He's got a great temperament, you know, really has for a kicker. I talked to him before the game, as I mentioned, and, you know, he feels good about kicking on grass, and everything's positive, everything's strong. He's got a great attitude.
McFadden kicking off to Ken Jenkins. McFadden with field goals today of 41 and 36 yards. Jenkins takes this one on the 7. 10 coming right. Slowed down. Outruns the man. 20-yard line. Good blocking. 30, 35. Out to the 30. Yeah, let's see where he stepped out. 37-yard line. Great return by the Redskins. The Eagle coverage, man, we just outrun, and now we have an offside call, and that's against the Eagles on the kickoff, but I think the Redskins will decline it. Andre Waters and Albert Fowles made the tackle on Jenkins.
Offside on the kicking team. The penalty will be refused. It's first down.
Ball is at the Washington 37. Well, plenty of football today on CBS, including this one, Hank, before a sellout crowd in the Coliseum. I'd like to see that one.
Oh, that's going to be a great football game, and of course the 49ers won in preseason, but the Raiders have to generate some kind of an offense. They're going to do it. They better start doing it today.
Those two teams have won 4 out of the last 5 Super Bowls. Here is Monk. Play action and the pass to Monk. Out of bounds at the 38 of Philadelphia, knocked out by Wes Hopkins. Boy, that guy can really get loose.
And that was a crossing pattern. The play action fake. They hold the lineman in good shape, and Monk comes over from the left side all the way over to the right side.
How many did he catch last year?
Last year he caught 106. Wonder he doesn't have sore hands.
That ball is to the Eagle 38. George Rogers in the backfield now. There's George. To the 30. He got about 9. Wes Hopkins with another tackle, and now the Eagles find themselves reeling, and the Redskins are playing like a 2-touchdown favorite.
Watch the trap lock, a great trap lock on Anthony Griggs. When he pops through there in good shape, Russ Grimm also makes a good block at the point of attack.
Didier leading the blocking for him. First down to the 22. Wes Hopkins with another tackle. Where did this electricity come from?
Well, they're getting off the ball a lot better, Jack. They're controlling the line of scrimmage now, and that always makes a difference. Running backs can run a lot better when there's someplace to run.
And he runs where Riggins runs, over behind Jacoby and Grimm, right?
Yeah, he takes the freeway.
I'll tell you, for a fellow listed as a tight end, that Didier does a lot of things. Monk in motion, Rogers in the backfield. Didier on a wing, pass play first down. Theismann end zone. Monk incomplete. And strong play in the corner by Roynell Young.
Roynell Young didn't take the bait. He was trying to run a square out and up, but Young gave him enough of a cushion. He had no chance whatsoever to make the play. Joe made up his mind in advance. That's where he's going to throw the football, but he had no chance to really make that completion to Art Monk.
Second down and 10 at the Philadelphia 23. And they're tough against the pass, as those figures show you, only 40%.
It's hard to get deep on this team. It's a lot easier to throw in front and in the middle than it is to throw deep.
Here the up back. Here comes Rogers. He's wrestled down on a strong tackle. Boy, there was a very strong play.
Greg Brown, number 98, was underneath the pile to make the play.
There's Greg Brown.
Watch Greg Brown, number 98. Come around the outside. Nobody touched him. He went right around the block and made the tackle. Well, that's a good picture.
Loss 1. 3rd and 11. Where are you going to throw it, Joe? Where are you going to throw it, Joe? And he threw it away. On 3rd down. Trying to get it downfield to Muhammad, and there was Herman Edwards.
They had 7 defensive backs in the game, and they had everybody faded. Joe Wisely, he had no place to throw the ball whatsoever. Couldn't even run with it because they contained him well, and he wisely threw the ball out of the ballpark and up in the bleachers.
So we shall have a 42-yard field goal try by Mark Mosley. He's 1 out of 1 this year. One of the few straight-ahead kickers. Theismann will hold, so you always have to watch for a fake. And Mosley. So it's a 6-3 game. 9:56 left. But the Redskins got hot. The Eagles shut them down, held them to 3.
Good picture of Reggie White, who will be playing for the Philadelphia Eagles next week. The Minister of Defense. Played in the United States Football League for the Memphis Showboats. Really did a super job. He's a big guy, 6'5", 285. And he played his collegiate football at the University of Tennessee. And he's a great mimic. You ought to see him do Muhammad Ali. And Roger Dangerfield. Terrific.
Here is the kick by Jeff Hayes, and the ball goes out of bounds. So Hayes misfires, and he'll kick to Herman Hunter from the 30-yard line with 9:53 left.
5-yard penalty and a re-kick.
I said Roger instead of Rodney because he's such a good athlete. It looks like in those commercials.
Oh, Dangerfield?
Yeah, it reminds me of Starbucks.
University of Texas won last night. They won their game over Missouri, 21-17, and even though Stanford lost to Oregon last night, the Stanford quarterback, John Paye, P-A-Y-E, threw 4 touchdown passes, so that action will be good at 3:30 Eastern Time next Saturday here on CBS Sports. Texas and Stanford, 2 great universities.
Talk about a team coming off the bus throwing the football. Boy, Stanford always has a great passing attack.
Hayes boots it, got into it very well, and it right to the goal line. Hunter all the way out to the 35. Well, that's what the Redskins have been moaning about, their breakdowns on their special teams, and it broke down again there, Hank, with a kick like that. Anthony Jones made the tackle. They should have hemmed him up much closer.
Especially, they're trying to do that by kicking the ball to one side of the field rather than right down the middle to give them just one place to go. They're converging, but they're still not making a play. And Wayne Sevier, who I talked to yesterday, who was in charge of the specialty teams, boy, he was very, very concerned about how poorly they were doing on coverage of kickoff return.
They changed some people around, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
On the 35, Randall Cunningham. And he delays the ball to Michael Haddock. He's delayed even more by the Redskin defense. That first down pass has not been seen very often, Hank.
No, it really hasn't been. But they started very well running the ball, especially to their left. They haven't done much running sideways, but straight ahead running has been very effective. And evidently they feel secure about that and they continue to try to do it.
Harold Grant made the tackle. Garrity comes in and goes left. Mike Quick is to the right. Fumble. And a flag is down. Well, the center held the ball as Cunningham pulled away, and that'll be a procedure call. There's the rookie Allen into it with some of the Redskins. Kevin Allen, the number 1 pick out of Indiana, number 72. What happened there, Chuck?
False start, quarterback, 5 yards, replay the down.
I talked to Manley the other day about Kevin Allen. He said, listen, he's a good-looking young football player. He's going to be an outstanding guy. He still has to learn a lot about pass protection, but from a run standpoint, he's tough.
He's got an opponent today in Manley.
Yeah, he's a terrific football player and a great guy to talk to. Terrific attitude.
2nd and 15. And there's Jackson in the backfield. He runs. Out across to the 42-yard line, making it 3rd down and about 3 yards to go. Curtis Jordan tackled him. They were all playing pass, weren't they?
Well, that time they had Darrell Grant on the nose of the center, which they don't do very often. They got an undershift or an overshift, and man, number 71 had a chance to make the tackle, but blew the tackle. And for that reason, you're not going to get Jackson with just a scrape trying to knock him down. You better get your arms around him because he's a good, strong, heavy-legged runner.
3rd down and a long 2. Herman Hunter and Michael Haddix in the backfield. 3rd and 2. Uh-oh. They sack him on 3rd down. That's the 2nd time they've nailed the quarterback. Manley got in there along with Grant.
Manley and Grant. Watch Dexter Manley. Going to the outside, and then finally pushes him off and comes to the inside and makes the play on the quarterback.
That's the 2nd sack today by the Redskins in their 8th of the year.
You know, sometimes a young tackle like Kevin Allen, he thinks his job is over once he forces the defensive end to the outside, relaxes a little bit, and the next thing you know, here he comes to the backside and makes the play. That's what happened there.
That's what you call holding your block, right?
That's right.
Here's the punt by Horan, the left-footed kicker, and boy, we've seen some good punting today. Jenkins is back to get it. And you better leave it alone, fellas. It dies at the 15-yard line. That'll give Horan good net yardage. You know, they miss Nelms on this Washington team, don't they?
I think any time that you have an aggressive punt returner like Nelms, you've got to miss him some because he's a guy that made things happen and gave your specialty teams a tough dimension that you like.
Well, I've taken my coat off, loosened my ties. Stram will never do that. You don't care if you're in the desert, do you?
Well, this sweater I got is air-conditioned, Jack, so it's nice and cool.
Eagles playing them pretty tough, Hank, and they figured to play anybody tough this year, don't they?
I tell you, they get any kind of an offense generated here this afternoon, and where they're playing defensively, they're going to create a lot of problems for people. And this young quarterback, I tell you, he's got a great future.
They've nailed him a couple of times on sacks, and here's a fellow who's had a great career, Joe Theismann. His day-to-day for Theismann is not so hot at the outset. He started off 1 out of 5. He's done pretty good coverage downfield. He's had to throw a couple away, and he is 3 out of 9 for 31 yards. They start from their 16 with George Rogers in there. First down, did he? Wes Hopkins tackled it.
Here's a replay. Watch Rogers running to his left. Good blocking at the point of attack. He bounces to the outside. Interesting talking to him yesterday. He always carries the ball in his right arm, whether he runs right or left. That time he ran left, and he still had it in his right arm. He said, I do not like to change because I'm afraid of fumbling, and for that reason, I think he runs better to the right than he does to his left because he's got the ball away from pressure.
Here he comes again. He used a good stiff arm and moved out to the 30-yard line. He got 3 yards on the play, and Ray Ellis tackled him. He's the strong safety.
There was a great illustration right there. So he had the ball away from pressure and was able to use his left arm for a straight arm and get a shot at the would-be tackler. When he's running to the other direction with a ball in that right arm, he can't do that, and he also creates a lot of fumbles. Here's Didier out in front, gets a good block on Ellis, but Ellis finally bounces off the block and makes the tackle.
Rogers told us he likes the coaching here, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He's very, very excited about that, very excited about being here.
Here he comes again, and he is nailed after a gain of about a yard, bringing him about 3rd down.
I think the other thing that's interesting about Rogers is he's been running for so long from the I formation, and normally he's about 7 or 8 yards deep from the I formation. They started him off in a 2-point stance when he first got here, but he couldn't see. He asked to be put up in a 2-point stance so he could see better. He was initially about 5 yards deep. That's not deep enough for him. He's got to be back about 6 or 7. He's about 6 now.
3rd down and 6.
7 defensive backs again.
Griffin in the backfield, in the pass pattern, catches the ball on a screen. a first down. He can move. First down across the 45. Keith Griffin out of Miami.
Boy, Russ Grimm got a great block that time, too, Jack, on the screen pass. Number 68, pulling to his left. Watch Russ Grimm. Number 68, going out to the left. Watch. There's the block he makes on Herman Edwards, and he provides running room for Keith Griffin, who comes up the field and gets a first down on the play. But the key block was made by Russ Grimm, number 68.
And perhaps you saw Rick Donnelly also, the center, with a good block. Up to the 47, first down. Riggins, flea flicker. And running room.
Football play. Give it to Riggins. Riggins pretends like he's going to run. Throws it back to Joe Theismann. They were playing a deep zone that time. He had no place to throw the ball. Darby almost got a shot but missed. He cuts back nicely. Joe Theismann, and he's in the process of getting hit and fell down just in time. 25-yard gain.
Here's again to Rogers. He's taken down after a gain of 3. I say this for Theismann. When he saw Wes Hopkins coming, he went underground, didn't he?
That's right. Yeah, he doesn't have that good business mind and that ability to think quickly for nothing, because he reacted terrifically well there. Here's good judgment.
Rogers just got 3, and Griffin comes back in. 4 minutes remaining in the half. 6-3 the score. The Eagles on top. Redskins on the big run by Theismann are at the Philadelphia 25.
They've only used the unbalanced line on one occasion. Maybe they might use it in here close. We'll take a look and see if they do it.
Monk in motion. He just got it away. Incomplete and almost picked off. Almost nailed by Herman Edwards. He had Hopkins right on top of him.
Watch the blitz right up the middle. Hopkins coming through there in the gap. That's a sight control pattern, meaning that any time the safety man is gone, they're going to run an inside pattern, which they did. And that time, Herman Edwards almost came up with the interception, number 46.
Theismann hasn't had such a hot day. 4 out of 11 for 47 yards. It's third down. 37.
Using those 7 defensive backs is no picnic, Jack.
Drives it out here in the screen again to Griffin. And he is very close, and he does have a first down. As I view it from here, Evan Cooper with a final hit. That's a first down screen pass, if I'm right.
Here they send Didier in motion to the left side. Monk was in motion to the left side. Here's a screen pass. Watch this. Huff misses the block on Hopkins, overruns it. And for that reason, and Donnelly also is out there in front but doesn't make a block.
Why not?
He was too high and couldn't make the adjustment on the tackle.
First down at the Eagles' 16-yard line. Rogers, the tailback.
Look at all the room in front of Edwards over there.
Didier with a block, and Rogers inside the 15-yard line in the arms of Ken Clark. Clark, number 71, is a fellow we can talk about. He really does a great job of anchoring that 3-man front for the Eagles.
He's another guy that doesn't get nearly the recognition that he deserves. He's really doing a terrific job. Reminds me an awful lot of Curly Cuff, the great player we had at Kansas City. He's very, very much like him from a physical standpoint. He even wears the same number. And he weighs about the same 270. They've got him listed at 255, but he really is 270. Boy, look at all the room over there on the left side on Edwards.
Second down and 7. That's where Theismann is looking. He fakes short. He throws outside, incomplete. We saw the linebacker, Cobb, with very good coverage on George Rogers.
That was really a bad move that time, Jack, because Edwards was back there so deep that there's no way in the world he's going to let you beat him on any kind of an individual pattern. The way to throw that pattern would be to throw in front of or inside of the defensive back. You don't even, you don't see him in the picture at all. Look at how deep he is. All he had to do was throw the ball in front of him, and it would have been a big gain. They try to throw deep, and Calvin Muhammad Gritty did not run a very good pass. 7 defensive backs again.
3rd down and 7. Another screen. Well, if it works twice, it may work again. He didn't get first down. It's 4th down, so the Redskins may just try to tie the game with a field goal. Herman Edwards, the tackle on Griffin. He reminds you a little bit of Joe Washington, who's no longer with the Redskins here.
Yeah, he does. And, Washington was such a valuable guy because he ran the option pattern so well in this territory, meaning he ran the option on a linebacker. Depending on how the linebacker played, he would run inside or outside. He was very effective with it. 2
minutes left in the half and a timeout. The ball's at the 10. They're going to try a field goal when we resume.
It was a pretty interesting thing, Jack. Mark Mosley, in the first 10 years of his career, his percentage was 62% on field goal attempts, but at that time he kicked field goals and also kicked off. In 1982, they changed the responsibility, eliminated the kickoff, and now he's just kicking field goals, and since that time, he's increased his percentage from 62 to 78%. So it makes a difference, evidently, because now Hayes kicks off instead of Mosley.
27-yard field goal ties at 6-6 with 1:58 left in the half. And so Mosley has kicked 27 yards and 41 yards, and McFadden 41 and 36. And there's Joe Gibbs talking it over with Theismann. And at the half, we're going to be joining Brent Musburger. Dick Vermeil is in the studio today, scores and highlights, and Herb Cross with the story. After the glory, talk about Hacksaw Reynolds and Dan Bunz, 2 players who have prepared quite differently for life after football. Be an interesting story to see what happened to Hacksaw, right?
I wonder if he's going to cut up any more cars.
Marion Campbell, great defensive coach.
Yeah, he really is. And he's got a good perspective on things. He really has. And you have to admire him for making that decision. I know he loves Jaworski, and it would just be like me doing the same thing to Lenny Dawson when he played for us. That's a tough decision, but, you have to make that decision. Jaworski is still an excellent quarterback, and I'm sure he's going to wind up somewhere playing with somebody else and continue to do a great job. But he had to make a decision, and he made it, and he did the same thing when he became the head coach of Atlanta. He brought in a young quarterback by the name of Bartkowski, and that was a dramatic change, too.
Here's the kickoff to Herman Hunter. From a yard deep, he's going to try. 30-yard line before he's out of bounds. Once again, the Redskins can't be pleased about their coverage. And Barry Wilburn, number 45, the tackler. He's a good rookie out of Mississippi on this Redskin team.
Now it's going to be interesting to see what kind of an approach they take here with 1:51 left in the half. I think the Eagles have 3 timeouts left, don't they, Jack?
Yes, they both do.
They both do, and to see whether they're going to go into their 2-minute offense or whether they're going to be conservative. The one thing they want to be careful of, they don't want to make a mistake here and provide the Redskins with an opportunity to get another score before the half. That's what happened to them last week in their game against the Rams.
Well, they don't have 3 timeouts left now. They call one to make sure they make the best use of the final 1:46. There's Ted Marchibroda. What does he do with the Eagles?
Well, he's the offensive coordinator, and he was interested to talk to you before the game. I asked Ted about the approach offensively, whether they throw the ball very much on 1st and 10. He said, no, I don't think we will. We probably will try to establish the run, especially try to go at them, and as the game progresses, we'll respond accordingly. And there he is, talking to Spagnuolo, who is really a very outstanding tight end, and also the young quarterback Cunningham.
And in the back of the picture, Ken Iman, a longtime offensive lineman for the Rams. That's Iman all the way just behind Ted Marchibroda. Chewing the gum and scratching his nose. 1:46 left in the half. We have the 49ers and the Raiders coming up next on CBS Sports. They're each 1-1, and they'll play before 92,000 people today in the Coliseum.
I bet you Al Davis is chewing his nails today.
Yeah, he said, never mind the tickets and the money. What does he say?
Just win, baby, just win.
They've won 4 out of the last 5 Super Bowls, so scoot in.
Here again, they got 6 defensive backs in the game. They got to be careful they don't make a big mistake. The place that looks vulnerable is something in the middle.
Over the middle, and it is caught by Quick out to the 40, and that's a first down. He called it, Hank, and it was Barry Wilburn, number 45, covering and tackling. Hurry up offense.
One thing about throwing the ball in the middle, Jack, if you don't throw it at the numbers, there's always a chance for a ricochet and an intercepted ball because everybody's surrounding the ball. So you got to be very careful how you throw it.
Cunningham out of Nevada, Las Vegas, hits Spagnola. That's another first down to the Washington 48. Tackled by Wilburn and Malott.
I tell you, Cunningham looks a lot more decisive this week, and justifiably so, after a week of work with the number one team than he did a week ago. And in talking to him yesterday, he said, I said, what do you feel you have to improve on this week? He said, well, I have to get rid of the ball a little quicker. I was surprised to hear him say that because I didn't think he held it too long last week most of the time. But the timing and the execution of the pattern so far have been much, much better than they were a week ago.
This is an Eagle timeout. They have one left, 1:14 left. Second quarter, an O'Donohue field goal has tied the Giants 10-10. And New England ahead of Buffalo 10-7 in the second quarter. Pittsburgh, another touchdown pass, Malone to Lips, 14-0. Second quarter, 2 to Lips today. New Orleans ahead of Tampa Bay, 14-3 in the second period. And a tie game in the second quarter, Denver and Atlanta. Some good matchups today.
Yeah, and I really think Atlanta, once they get on track, I think they've got a good chance to surprise a lot of people and be a lot better football team than they started out to be so far.
They have Liebenstein, Hamill, Beasley up front to help with the pass rush of the Redskins.
And they got a 3-man rush, Jack, instead of their usual 4-man rush that are blitzing the linebackers.
Look out, Dick. Cunningham doing all sorts of things. Needs a block for more yards. Look at him run. Look at him run. Look at him run. He is a thrill a minute to the 10. Just outside the 10 before Darrell Green caught him.
And Tony Peters had a shot at him, but he faked him out of his shoestrings on the play, on the run, and he eluded him. And there's Monty Coleman, hurt in the play. Hopefully nothing serious, but he got hurt on the play.
He started today in place of Kaufman. Cunningham is something there. 59 seconds left in the half. This is an injury timeout.
I tell you, you talk about a guy that can make things happen. Watch him again. See, they have a 3-man line, and the linebackers, Coleman is blitzing on the play, goes beyond the play. He fakes out. Peters runs to the outside. Look at him. The way he carries that ball, look how loose it is. You think somebody would knock it loose from the backside.
Quick got a good block for him.
But Green finally got him from the backside, and in the process of falling down, he had enough composure to tuck the ball in to make sure he didn't fumble it. 37 yards on the play.
He's rushed 3 times for 57 yards today. The partially balding fella on the left, well, right behind Marchibroda now, is Fred Bruni, the coach. He's out of our picture. There's Cunningham.
What a great player he was at Ohio State.
You're talking about Bruni. You started to say about Cunningham, it reminds you of another former quarterback.
Yeah, he reminds me so much of Joe Gilliam. He really does. Yeah, Pittsburgh. And, of course, he said he's wearing number 12 because of Joe Namath. And he wears he says he even feels good about the fact that he's wearing green and white like Joe Namath. And he also has got a face mask like Joe Namath, so he's very sold on Joe.
Here's Coleman out of Central Arkansas. He went to school there because his brother played there. Look at the arms on that fella, Mike.
Isn't that amazing? He didn't play high school football at all. Went to college as a walk-on and made the football team.
And he loves to fish.
Yeah, he's a bass fisherman, a professional bass fisherman. He's been doing it for 2 years along with Charlie Taylor. And I asked him if he won any tournaments. He said, we won one. I said, how much money did you win? I think he said $136.
But he had to split it with the other guy.
That's right, had to split it. High finance.
Well, looks like the Eagles are going to be ahead at the half, barring a mistake. We're tied 6-6 with 59 seconds left in the half. Stuart Anderson replaces Coleman. This is not first and goal, it's first and 10. Cunningham brings it inside, and it is carried by Ernest Jackson down to the 6. They still have a lot of time. They don't have to rush. And now a timeout is called by, well, the flag is down. That's what stops the clock.
You know, Jack, the Philadelphia Eagles haven't scored a touchdown since the third quarter of last season. So if they score one here, it'll be the first time in a long time.
Holding, 72, offense.
Call against Kevin Allen.
Repeat first down.
There's Marion Campbell. Well, they may not get the points here at the end of the half after all. They did the same thing against the Rams. They got the ball to the 10, to the 5, spiked the ball, took it back to the 10, And then they were called on a fumble, and they lost 6 points there.
Raphael Cherry, who played quarterback at the University of Hawaii, is the 5th defensive back in there right now. Now they got 6 defensive backs.
2nd and 20.
Charles Mann.
Sacked him for the 3rd time. They're going backwards.
Got it in reverse march. They got it in reverse march.
They started right outside the 10. They're at the 33. Stuart Anderson, the linebacker, blitzing on the play.
2nd and 32. They got to hope they can get some of it back here. And the middle looks like it'd be vulnerable if they get the ball off.
Here's running room. Not now, though. And he throws it away on 2nd down.
Dexter Manley, 72, again, providing good pressure. Barry Wilbur, number 45, involved in the play.
He was covering Herman Hunter. There's Dexter Manley. These defensive linemen really get pooped chasing that guy, don't they?
Oh, they do. I remember I mentioned it last week, but we played against Denver several years ago, a long time ago, really, and they had a quarterback that ran all over the place, and he really created a lot of problems in our big linemen. Boy, you talked about needing the gas pipe after the game. They needed it.
3rd and 32. The Eagles with 12 seconds left have a timeout left. They want to get a little closer for a field goal try, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by Will Byrne, his first ever in pro football.
They had him double covered that time, Jack, and he threw the ball right into double cover. The area to throw the ball really would have been in the middle, Jack. That's a vulnerable spot, but he threw it outside, and Barry Wilburn, number 45, came up with the interception.
To the Washington 35 with 4 seconds left, so it appears we're going to have a 6-6 score here at the half.
Watch Wilburn, 45. He gets a chuck. See, and then he comes in and plays short. The ball is thrown in front. He makes the interception and really gets a great jump on the ball and does a good job of bringing the ball back. They have possession on the 35.
Michael Haddix made the tackle. Wilburn is a rookie out of Mississippi, number 8 draft pick. First interception of his career. Now Theismann with 4 seconds left.
He's going to throw the ball deep downfield to see if something can happen.
Jump ball, folks. Anybody want it? And intercepted by the Eagles with no time remaining. Intercepted by Ray Ellis. And we have a 6-6 score here at the half. Well, the Redskins dodged the bullet. They had 1st and 10 to go just outside the 10-yard line. I said it looked like the Eagles were going to take the lead at the half, but they blew it. Holding call and an interception. We're tied at the half. 6-6. The end of the first half. 6-6.
Performance Revolution, an American revolution. Budweiser, for all you do, this Bud's for you. And by Steel Chainsaws, rugged, long-lasting, and tough.
We're not a company, but we recognize potential. We do.
Welcome back to New York. I'm Brent Musburger with Dick Vermeil. And first, a baseball note, because it's a sense of deja vu for New York Yankee fans. Early this morning, manager Billy Martin and one of his starting pitchers, Ed Whitson, got into a fight at the team's hotel in Baltimore. Now, according to witnesses, the two men had been drinking in the hotel bar. When the argument broke out, it soon escalated into an exchange of blows, even spilling out into the hotel lobby, where Whitson was seen kicking Martin in the groin. Martin suffered a broken right arm. He is wearing a cast in the dugout in the Yankee game against Baltimore today. And sources close to the team say that if Yankee owner George Steinbrenner fires Martin a 4th time, he will be replaced by Lou Piniella. Now, in professional football, games in progress right now around the league. Indianapolis, their first home game, and Dick Vermeil, how noisy is it as we take a look at the highlights here of the Colts?
Brent, I did a ball game there a year ago, and I'll tell you, when you're in the booth, you can't hear yourself think.
Well, here is George Wansley with a big burst for the Colts.
Little off-tackle play, just power. You can see the Colts are playing with great intensity today.
This is a great piece of work by the front office of the Colts. Owen Gill was cut by Seattle, picked up by the Colts. He is a victim of that 45-man rule, and that's why Chuck Knox had to let him go out in Seattle. New England and Buffalo right now. They are at the half. It is 10-7. Patriots with the lead there. Pittsburgh running it up against Houston 17-0 at the half. New Orleans and Tampa Bay, they are playing down at the Superdome, and it is 14-6, the Saints with the lead in the second quarter in that game. And Dick, Lehman Bennett had to call the plays today. Did that put a lot of pressure on him?
Well, I don't think it does. He's an offensive coach by heart anyway, but taking over for Jimmy Ray, who was hurt in an accident this week.
That was Larry Hardy for the Saints, and then it was Dave Wilson going to Hobie Brenner, and the Saints have jumped out to that lead, and the Bucs have settled for a couple of field goals in that one. Denver has just gone ahead of Atlanta. They were tied at 14. Now it is 21-14. The Broncos with the lead on the Falcons. They are in the second quarter of that one. San Diego and Cincinnati 17-13. The Chargers with the lead there. The Dallas Cowboys and the Cleveland Browns have gone to the half, with the Cowboys up by 10 points in that one. Philadelphia and Washington, they are tied at 6, and of course you are watching that game here on CBS. St. Louis and the Giants, big confrontation in the NFC East. They are tied at 10. And Dick Vermeil, what about Jim Hannafin and the job he had to try to do against Phil Simms here?
Well, he looks more relaxed than you normally see him. Here's Simms going to Galbraith. Does a great job on third down. Watch him make people miss. You don't give him credit for being that kind of an open field runner, but he's a fine open field runner that's displayed there.
Dick, you know, all week long, Bobby Johnson was complaining that Phil Simms wasn't throwing him the ball. Well, he got close, and Johnson did the rest. That's his first catch of the season, and then here's one of the top combinations in the whole league.
Roy Green going down the hole. Watch this beautiful post pattern. Laid up right over the outside shoulder. Touchdown. Boy, what a tough combination of the defense.
Boy, that'd be hard to stand out there and have Roy Green come at you. And we're going to continue. Irv Cross is standing by. He's out in Los Angeles. The big one coming up, of course, is going to be the Raiders and the 49ers. And we'll have more on that right after these messages from your local stations. Welcome back to New York. You know, later today, most of you will be seeing that early season showdown between the two dominant powers of the 80s. Do you realize that between them, the Raiders and the 49ers have won 4 of the last 5 Super Bowls, and they go at each other again this afternoon in the L.A. Coliseum. Now, to bring us closer to the game, Irv Cross will be reporting from the Coliseum throughout the day. Irv, what do you got out there?
Well, you know, for the Raiders to win, Jim Plunkett must move the ball against the 49ers' superb defense. Everybody knows that. But at least Plunkett won't have to contend with 2 linebackers who in recent years were key performers for the Super Bowl champions. Now, this autumn, Dan Buns and Hacksaw Reynolds are coping with the question every player must face. Is there a life after football? It's not as if Dan Buns is just sitting around the house waiting for the phone to ring.
I've had a couple phone calls from different teams, and each time I get fired up and I'm ready to roll. I feel I can be a starter on most of the teams and bring a winning attitude and get a chance to play a couple more years.
Dan Buns played only 6 seasons, long enough to start on 2 Super Bowl teams. Yet suddenly at 29, he finds himself out of football, but not necessarily out of work. He owns a thriving bistro near Sacramento.
I looked at football as a stepping stone, okay? Here's something I love to do and I've done all my life, and hopefully this will help me go on in life.
Life goes on at a slower pace for Pat and Jack Reynolds. Now 37, Reynolds is going through a tough transition. Life after football.
It's a difficult period, but the best thing to do is to get away from it in some respects, and others to stay close to it enough that you still feel like you're part of it. It's a funny situation. It's a pull and push, tear away type thing.
They called him Hacksaw, a 15-year veteran whose life was consumed by his passion for the game, a throwback player who now has only the vaguest idea of what he wants to pursue. Maybe make a commercial. Maybe write a book. Maybe even suit up one more time.
Is there some hope that somebody will pick me up? I don't. Faintly. I'm not, banking on it.
Now that you're out of the game, Dan, what do you miss the most?
Well, I'd have to say what bothers me the most is game day. Everybody says the worst time, the last half an hour, you're all keyed up, let's go, but you love that. You're getting fired up, you're getting prepared, and that's what I miss the most, that coming out just for the game, the excitement.
These days may be more tranquil for Dan and Elizabeth, more time for their daughter, but there's still a void in Dad's life.
It's just really depressing to sit there and say, hey, I could be out there doing that. It hurt me.
My first thoughts about they said I was released and I wouldn't be back was that I was really kind of upset. It's just really hard to put it down or even express how I really feel.
They played side by side on the 49ers' 2 championship teams. But around the Bay Area, it was Dan Buns who gained lasting fame on this play.
Alexander does not get in. Dan Buns.
I didn't realize how close he was. Wasn't sure if he even got in after I hit him. And it was probably the best play of my career and probably the one everybody will always remember. To get a chance to play in 2 Super Bowls and be associated with, the super athletes that San Francisco has, it was all worth it. It was the best thing that could happen to me my whole life.
Every year when the cut list comes out, you see 1 or 2 names you can't quite understand. Dan Buns, a young linebacker playing good football on his way up, is out of pro football. I wouldn't be surprised to see him come back. Brent?
All right, Dick, I can't remember a linebacker any more intense than one Hacksaw Reynolds.
He came into the league intense. In fact, he was born intense, I think, really. That guy, I was around him for 4 years, and I bet he really misses football.
All right, let's send you back now to the stadium and a game you're enjoying on CBS.
Eagles led 6-0. The Redskins caught them, and then Philadelphia missed a great opportunity for additional points. They had 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line and went backwards. Hank, and I guess the big story here is trying to interpret the Washington offense.
That really is the big problem, and I think the big problem they've had, really, Jack, is that they have not done a good job on 1st and 10, either running or passing. I think they've thrown the ball 5 times on 1st and 10, only completed 2. But I think they have to keep the Philadelphia Eagles out of that 7 defensive back situation. And to do that, they have to get a bigger chunk on 1st and 10 to play them with a normal defensive structure rather than waiting to throw against those 7 defensive backs. That's really been their problem, plus the fact the Eagles are playing tremendously well on defense.
It seems to me, Hank, the Redskins are a lot like a team that has 2 quarterbacks. Now they have Riggins and Rodgers. We've seen them play so often in the past. Theismann throwing, Riggins running. Now, what do they want to do? Now, what are they doing out here? What do they really want to do with their club?
I think they like to establish what they call the Washington kind of football, Redskins football. They haven't been able to do that consistently yet. They're doing it very well defensively, but offensively they are just not making it happen. And I think they have to start, again, doing a much, much better job of making something happen on 1st and 10. That's got to be the key for them. The other thing is, I think Rodgers provided a good spark when he came in the game. I think he's carried the ball 8 times, an average about close to 5 yards per try, which is very outstanding. And I think he has to play more, maybe to give him a little bigger dimension from an offensive standpoint.
And it used to be Theismann to Monk, and we don't see that much of it anymore.
No, you really don't. But here again, they're not doing enough of it on 1st and 10. On the late downs, Jack, when it's obvious passing situations, they double cover Monk, and it's hard. You got to be a magician to get the ball to him. So as a result, you really want to get the ball to their outside people, I think, on 1st and 10.
Invite you to see, drive, and live today's Chevrolet. And by Bic Shaver for normal skin and the Bic Shaver for sensitive skin. Now there's double trouble for stubble.
As a result, you really want to get the ball to their outside people, I think, on 1st and 10.
Invite you to see, drive, and live today's Chevrolet. And by Bic Shaver for normal skin and the Bic Shaver for sensitive skin. Now there's double trouble for stubble.
There's John Riggins. He was not in the scheme of things very much. In fact, it was Keith Griffin on those screen passes and George Rodgers running from the tailback spot who gave the Redskins their best offensive sparks. We're about to start this second half with Washington kicking off. That means Jeff Hayes, and it also means Herman Hunter. He'll be back at the other end. We had a chance of rain today. It looks like it's going to stay away. Capacity crowd, 55,000 plus. Really tough to get tickets here in this park. The game next week for the Eagles will be at home against the Giants, and these Redskins have a tough trip. They're playing at Chicago next week.
And what an assignment that is.
Here's a kick by Hayes. And Hunter took it on the goal line. Running in the same direction each time. Hayes in trouble. He is short of the 20-yard line. And things were played, I would suspect, on a rather even keel statistically in the first half. Let's take a look. And tackled by Raphael Cherry for the Redskins. First downs, 9-7. More rushing yards, passing yards about the same. Turnover for each. Right at the end of the game, meaningless turnovers. Time of possession, the Eagles have a slight edge. And the ball is at the Philadelphia 18-yard line. Ernest Jackson in the backfield. One of the reasons he left San Diego, was traded over here. He doesn't catch the ball very well. He can run. He was stopped cold that time out near the 20. Tackle by Charles Mann, number 71.
Well, that's interesting. They've been running straight ahead more to their left than they were to the right. That time they start the second half by design, evidently, and they run right at Butts and also Charles Mann and try to get a surge there.
Second down and 8. They bring in the plays with the wide receivers for the Eagles. Here is slanting running play by Michael Haddix to the right. Boy, it's tough to do that against Washington.
It really is, and that time they were in an overshifted defense. Darrell Grant was on the nose of the center, and he isn't there very often. Normally he's on the left guard. That time he was on the center, and it was overshifted that way, and in spite of that, they still went where all the traffic was, and no way in the world to make yardage that way.
Charles Mann made another tackle. Checking in is Dean Hamill, the rookie out of Tulsa, on 3rd and 7. He's playing defense for the Redskins up front. Out of the shotgun on 3rd down. And a flag goes, and that will make it 3rd and 12. Leonard Mitchell on the right side, number 74, beat the snap count, and the center didn't
Ball
snap
start,
the ball.
number 74 offense, 3rd down.
Jack, the other thing that's interesting on that last play, they got five defensive linemen in the game now, trying to put more pressure on the quarterback. They did not do that. Now they bring him out.
Raphael Cherry.
They bring out Dean Hamill, number 78, who was the 5th lineman. Now they go back with the 4 linemen there.
And the extra back, Hamill, or Cherry. 3rd down and 12. And running with the ball is Herman Hunter, and he's way short of a first down. That's a strange call on 3rd and 12, isn't it?
It really is.
Tackled by Stuart Anderson.
But here again, the hope and expectation is to get a little bit more room from a punting standpoint, or possibly have a back be able to break a tackle and run for the necessary yardage for the first down. I don't think you can hope for a guy to do that very often against a team like the Redskins. I think if you're going to throw the ball, you ought to throw it downfield long enough so if you make the catch, you're going to get a first down.
3rd punt of the day for Mike Moran, left-footed kicker. Ken Jenkins inside his 40. The Redskins should be in good shape when they get the ball.
Now, Mann is lined up on the outside trying to put some pressure on him, but doesn't that time.
And we'll check the bounce. Jenkins gets a lucky bounce from the 35 to the 40, and he is out near the 47-yard line. The Redskins are in good shape. Jenkins returned it. He's out of Bucknell. And a free agent. Tackled downfield by Dave Little, one of the Philadelphia tight ends. At the 47 of the Redskins.
You know, I'm surprised they haven't used their unbalanced line any more than they have.
Wiggins in the backfield. There's what we're used to seeing. Monk. He carries down to the 42 for a first down. Rynell Young covering.
Watch Monk, number 81. He starts off downfield and then breaks to the outside quickly. A very high percentage kind of a pass. Reggie Wilkes is trying to make a play. And finally, the defensive corner, Rynell Young, 43, makes the tackle.
First down at the 42. Riggins hitting his tracks, and down he goes. Strong defense by the Eagles. They've been keeping their club in it. We're tied. Gary Cobb, the linebacker, and Greg Brown were in on the defensive action.
You know, it's funny. We talked to Ken Clark yesterday and had a nice visit with him and asked him whether he'd like to play on the nose of the center or would he rather overshift and play on the guard. And he said, well, really, very frankly, I'd much rather play on the nose. I'm used to that position, and I know exactly where the blocks are coming from.
Here's a toss to Griffin, trying to turn. Couldn't get outside, turns upfield, gets modest yards. It's going to be 3rd and long. Yeah, that Clark likes it down and dirty, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Gary Cobb with another tackle, number 50. Nick Griffin can scoot.
And look at the size of that Joe Jacoby. During the offseason, he got married in March, bought a new home, very excited about that. And he also has a celebrity golf tournament in his name for the Heart Association. And last spring, they raised $20,000. Pretty good.
Yes, sir. 11:20 left in the 3rd quarter.
7 defensive backs again.
3rd and 5, Griffin in motion.
Look at
Over
Griffin.
the middle to Griffin, and he dropped the ball. Incomplete's the call. 4th down.
That time he had a one-on-one situation with Ray Ellis and had the option, it looked like, to run either inside or outside. They had a chance to make the catch but dropped it.
Jeff Hayes will try to pin the Eagles down deep in their territory. And Hayes, by the way, is a pretty good runner. We've seen him run out of punt formation.
Yes.
And it wouldn't be a bad play here, would it?
No, he has the option to do that. If the defense is right, he has the opportunity to go ahead and take advantage of it and run the play from deep punt formation.
Evan Cooper is at his 10-yard line. Hayes handles it. Look out. They came with a full rush and darn near got it. He hung up high, and it's going to bounce inside the 5. What a great kick. He just barely got it away. Hopkins and others, Ellis, Waters almost blocked it, and it's on the 2-yard line. What a kick by Jeff Hayes. 36 yards, but it pins Philadelphia back at their 2-yard line. Be tough to do. They give it to Michael Haddix. He's from Mississippi State, tackled by Olkowitz. 1 yard.
Boy, you talk about being in a soup. That's where they are right now. I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see him try to throw one up on top from this area because you got a very nimble quarterback, and chances are you wouldn't get caught.
How about a quick kick?
There's the fumble.
Fumble! Redskins think they have it. Eagles think they have it. I thought the Eagles had it. There's a lot of scrambling going on even as we wait. Even as we wait. There's a lot of movement down in that pile.
The biggest guy in the bottom of that pile is going to wind up with the ball, Jack. That's what usually happens. The strong guy down there is going to take it away from the little guy. Mike Quick looked like he finally recovered the football for the Eagles. See, that's what happens. You know, a conservative running play down here, Jack. You fumble the ball, you know, then all of a sudden, bang, they got great field position. But if you throw it, and even if it's intercepted on a long play, well, you got a chance at least to think about it almost like a kick.
We'll watch that play again as Haddix fumbled.
And there's Mike Quick.
Yeah, he really worked to get it, didn't he?
He put the vacuum sweeper on it underneath there and sucked it right up.
They're at their 5. 3rd down has been a dilemma for the Eagles all year long.
It really has been. I think any time, you know, you're in 3rd and 9 consistently, boy, that's a lot of yardage to make up in one play. And for the year,
it's been even more than that.
Yeah, and for the year, it's 12.3, which is really murder and only 27%.
Now the Redskins have the crowd into it. 3rd down and 7 from the 5-yard line. Out of the shotgun. The center, Dennard, over the ball. 4-man rush for the Redskins. By the way, that last timeout was charged to the Eagles, so they have 2 left in this half. And the referee is telling the quarterback what to do. Quick snap usually takes care of that.
And that time, the Eagles lined up with Quick on the outside along with Kenny Jackson. And they're playing man for man on that side with Darrell Green and Vernon Dean.
Dexter Manley is the agitator down here. He's getting this crowd all revved up. Looks like an orchestra leader.
Yeah, all he needs is a baton out there to make things look official.
He and the cornerback, Darrell Green, they're both revving the crowd up. They're down 6. Bennard, the center, is saying, I can't hear a thing. Bennard says, I can't hear a thing. This is the first time we've heard that. This is typical of the Redskin crowd, but the first time today we've heard it.
Yeah, this is more like it. This is more like what we're used to.
Outside and caught by Quick. Nobody's going to carry. He went the wrong way. He's still going to run. A man behind him. Had he gone straight down the field, nobody would have touched it. What a big play. And a big save by Dean and Wilburn.
That's what they were looking for. I mentioned they were in man-for-man coverage. Vernon Dean and Darrell Green. And he ran right by. Watch now. Look at this. Look at Vernon Dean on the outside. Quick is in the slot. Look at what happens.
Right over the top of it.
And Darrell Green looks like he just lost the ball trying to make a play on it. And, of course, Quick has great speed. Wilburn is in hot pursuit, number 45, and he finally makes the tackle. But you talk about getting out of the trouble and out of the soup. What a big play.
Oh, what a big hit on Michael Haddix. By Stuart Anderson, who was filling in for Monty Coleman at the left linebacker spot. That pass play was good for 69 yards.
And I asked Mike Quick before the game on the field, I said, Mike, how do you like grass compared to synthetic turf? He said, I love grass, which is unusual for a guy who plays on synthetic turf most of the time, and Kenny Jackson feels the same way.
And he runs straight, Hank. He'd have gone right down the field.
And they got a single on the right side.
And a draw play. It was good for big yards by Michael Haddix with Olkowitz making the tackle.
See, Washington plays a lot of man-for-man coverage, Jack. They double cover one guy or the other, but they still wind up with one-on-one most of the time, and I think you have to take advantage of that a little bit more maybe than they've tried to take advantage of it here this afternoon, talking about the Eagles. This kid has a great arm, and he'll get the ball there in good shape if they have the opportunity to throw the ball one-on-one.
We haven't seen the quarterback draw by Cunningham, and we see them practice it each Saturday.
Well, they like the quarterback draw in close, Jack. The quarterback draw is perfect right about the 8-yard line going in. That's when it's best.
Jackson is stopped on 3rd down. It was 3rd down and about 3, and he lost a yard on the tackle by Olkowitz.
They have not done a very good job of holding blocks when you go sideways. The best thing they've done is run straight at the defense, and they're more successful doing that and throwing the ball than they are trying to run sideways. And great illustration of it on the last play.
With a field goal try by McFadden. He has kicked successfully from the 41 and the 36. This will be 38 yards. Jaworski holding. He pumped it good, and the Eagles go back on top. They led early, 6-0. They lead now, 7:33 left in the 3rd quarter, 9-6. Paul McFadden out of Youngstown State. He's only 155 pounds. He packs a wallop.
Boy, he does. He's got a great power, and he's not very big, as you mentioned, Jack, but he's got great timing.
Here's the kick to Ken Jenkins. High, short. Jenkins on the 11. 20. He's out to the 31. Well, it's the 2nd time in a row that Washington has had very good position in which to start.
Well, they started Washington on their own 33, 24-9, 37-16, 35-18. They haven't had what you'd call very good field position, and when they've had pretty good field position, they haven't been able to take advantage of it at all.
Major Everett, Andre Water made that last tackle. Here Rogers will take the win on the pass play. And it was wide open. open out near the 50-yard line to Warren. Warren, one of their tight ends, tackled by Griggs.
They had a good fake that time. They used the I formation. George Rogers was the tailback. They had a good fake. They held the linebackers, and for that reason, they were able to hit the crossing pattern to Don Warren, who was wide open between the defensive backs and also behind the linebackers. That's what happens if you throw on 1st and 10, Jack. You can't wait till they get the 7 defensive backs in there to throw the ball.
And a 17-yard pickup to the 47 of the Redskins. Another fake. Left sideline. Incomplete. It was high and away, and Muhammad tried to pull it in, but he couldn't. Incomplete.
You know, talking to Muhammad yesterday, he played for the Raiders, as everybody knows, and with the Raiders, he was basically a deep pattern guy, and he had to really reconstruct his route process because they throw a lot shorter passes here, and he's still, I don't think, in the groove as far as catching those short routes and also responding to the short routes.
Pretty good musician, isn't he?
Oh, he's terrific. Started playing the piano when he was 6, and he's got a record coming out in the fall called Celine, which is his middle name.
2nd and 10. Nobody there, Joe. A little misread with Muhammad again.
See, there again, Jack, I think with the new receiver, especially, of course, he's had Monk for a long time, but Calvin Muhammad is a new receiver, comparatively speaking, and the sync between the two of them is not there yet. And there was a great illustration. I don't know who made the mistake, whether Muhammad was supposed to go deep.
Somebody did.
Somebody did, very obviously. And those are the kind of mistakes you don't see the Washington Redskins make very often.
Theismann 8 out of 20, 87 yards.
7 defensive backs again.
3rd and 10. That time, and Muhammad is out of bounds. He got 1 foot in, and that's all. That's the way it looked up here also. Roynell Young covering. Got 1 foot in, and that's all.
You know, it didn't look like he was very sure of the catch, even when he made the reception. What he does, he reads the coverage and then breaks to the outside. It's very high, brings it down, 1 foot in, but the other one did not make it, and the official was right on the spot, and it was a good call on the part of the official.
4 left in the 3rd quarter. Evan Cooper is back, awaiting the 5th punt of the day from Jeff Hayes.
You talk about it being a game of inches. There was a great illustration. Had he thrown the ball a little bit lower, it would have been easy catch.
They almost blocked it. They didn't run into the kicker. Another good punt by Hayes, and it bounces out of bounds. Down inside the 20-yard line. Well, they mark it at the 21. Well, the Eagles take over. They got a field goal the last time they had it. There's the score. They lead 9-6. 6:17 left in the 3rd quarter. Joe Gibbs is not bragging about what's going on these days with his football team. He has a lot of concern.
He really has, and of course the other guy that's very concerned is Bobby Bethard. We talked to him before the game, and he was very concerned, especially with a tough schedule coming up in the next 3 weeks.
From the 21, Cunningham, play action, drills a line drive, and it is caught by Kenny Jackson for a 1st down. He throws it like a baseball, doesn't he?
Oh, he's got a whip. He has got a whip. And there again, a 1st down pass with play action. Say, fakes to Haddix going into the line, holds the linebackers, got plenty of time to throw the ball, throws the ball in front, and Jackson comes up back to meet the ball a little bit. The old Green finally makes the tackle.
15 yards, 1st down at the Eagles 36. This time Haddix did carry the ball and got about 3. 5.5 left in the 3rd quarter.
That time they ran right over Butts again and made pretty good yardage. Doesn't happen very often. You know, an interesting thing, I talked to Mark Dinnard before the game on the field. I said, you're going to have a picnic today. You're not going to have a guy in your nose very often. He said, I'd rather have a guy in my nose rather than play against an even spacing. I'm more used to it, and I know where he's coming from. Kind of an interesting observation.
2nd and 7, a toss to Haddix, nothing doing. The ball came loose. Was the play over? Yeah, the play was dead. Play was dead. Olkowitz made the hit. Well, that Olkowitz has gotten a lot of mileage out of his ability.
Oh, he dances every dance and plays every play, and he's a tough guy. You know, he's very smart, too. He reads things extremely well, and they try to keep those tackles, trying to keep people off of him most of the time so he's free to make the tackle.
3rd down and 7. Cook and Jackson are both to the left. And it is incomplete and almost picked off by Vernon Dean. We try to force that one to Kenny Jackson. Eagles will have to punt.
But that's typical, Jack, of a guy, a young fellow who's got a terrific arm. He has such great confidence in the velocity of the ball that sometimes even the coverage is close. He's going to try to get it in there. And really, Jackson could have made the play.
Look at the average for Horan. The kicking game has been outstanding for the Eagles. Darrell Green is back to get the punt. Watch it here if he gets a hold of it.
And Sevier said before the game that they normally had been able to put enough pressure on him where he hadn't kicked well. But he's kicking very, very well here today.
Nice snap, and the left-footed kicker dumps it. Now watch this guy if he gets a hold of it. Darrell Green all the way back at the 9-yard line. He can fly. Almost first out of there, didn't he? He came out to the 21. But Washington doesn't have the good field position they had a while ago. We have 4:10 left in the 3rd quarter. The tackler was John Kimmel, an Eagle linebacker. That was a 52-yard punt, 14-yard return. I think the Eagles think they can win this game.
Well, talking to them yesterday, it's very obvious they thought they could win the game if they just didn't beat themselves or lose the game. They were very confident to a man. Everybody we talked to felt good about the game.
Clark in motion. Muhammad and Monk to the right side. Out here, a screen to Clark. He's on the move. And he got about 5 across the 25-yard line. Eric Clark, a rookie out of James Madison. Wes Hopkins stopped him.
Wes Hopkins is all over the place. He's like a linebacker playing safety, weak safety. Got good speed, great timing, and really a terrific football player. And talking to Fred Bruni last week, he said he thought they had the best set of defensive backs they've ever had since he's been with the Eagles, which is quite a compliment.
2nd and 5 with Rogers. Here he comes. There he goes. First down. Out to the 34.
Rogers, I think, gave him a little spark earlier in the game, Jack, and comes right back here with another good shot right straight ahead. Look at the offensive line. Huff gets a good block on the linebacker.
Good hit by Ellis and then Griggs. First down at the 35 of the Redskins. Rodgers again. Oh, a saving tackle by Roynell Young at the 50-yard line.
Boy, Joe Jacoby and Russ Grimm, they're getting off the ball a lot better. But see, they're doing a good job. Watch the surge. And look at, they come off the ball in good shape. Reichenbach is blocked by the left guard, Grimm, and George Rogers cuts back, which is something he likes to do, and is finally tackled there by Roynell Young.
15-yard run. Rogers 10 carries, 59 yards. 2:25 left in the 3rd quarter. First down.
Look at all the room on the left side again. Boy, they got a lot of room.
That's where they're looking at. The pass caught by Monk. And he works for additional yardage. He got 6 to the 44.
It looks like they're throwing the ball over there by accident more than by design. Look at Monk go in motion, breaks out into the flat. Look how open he is. Finally gets hit there by Roynell Young, and he still fights for some extra yardage on the play.
On 2nd and 4, Riggins comes in. What a 1-2 punch this is. Rogers and Riggins. Here he comes. First down. Inside the 40. And that's going to take us up to the 2-minute mark remaining in this 3rd quarter.
Connolly got a good block. The center that time got a good block on Clark, number 71. And anytime the center gets a block on the nose man, you know you're going to make the yardage up the middle.
Brown and Cobb had to make the tackle. First down at the Eagles' 40-yard line. 9-6, Philadelphia leading. 1:40 left in the 3rd quarter. Clark goes to the left. Didier splits wide right. Monk's on a wing.
Boy, look at that left side again, Jack.
Inside handoff to Monk.
There it is.
And he ran inside the 35-yard line. And he got about 7 yards before Reichenbach tackled him. And the Redskins are coming at the Eagles from a lot of different angles now.
Well, they're looking like they're expressing their personality on this drive. Don Warren made a great block there that time, 85, the tight end. But that was a reverse play, a counter play. Got the defense going one way and came back the other. But the Eagle defense still doing a terrific job there, playing the run and also the pass.
It's the third time that Monk has carried the ball this year. 2nd and 4 with Riggins. This is a Riggins down ordinarily. And a delay. He is stacked up and got about 2.
That time they're in the unbalanced line again that time. That's about the 2nd or 3rd time they've used it. Unbalanced line meaning that they bring Joe Jacoby over from the left side to the right side.
Hopkins made the tackle along with Wilkes.
I don't have a picture.
We're going to use the chalkboard, but our picture is out. We'll show you the replay here.
At that time they were in an unbalanced line, and all that happens is, as I started to say,
3rd and a yard and a half right here, live action.
Jacoby goes over and replaces Warren, and Warren goes back to his spot.
Riggins, that's a first down. Tackled by Griggs, but a relentless drive now, and that might be the final play of the 3rd quarter. Otis Wansley was in there helping with the blocking. The ball is at the Eagle 28, and that's the end of the 3rd period, folks. And Riggins is huffing and puffing. The Eagles have the lead, 9-6. The end of the 3rd quarter, the score 9-6 Philadelphia. We pause for a word from your local station.
And by Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light, it doesn't get any better than this.
It's a first down for the moving Redskins at the Eagle 28. We start the final 15 minutes.
Unbalanced line again, Jack.
Riggins lurches down near the 26. And about 3 at the most. Tackled by Byron Darby. We haven't seen Tom Struthers today. He was in there briefly, but on passing downs, but not very often. Riggins is good for 3. 2nd and 7. The rookie Clark comes left. Here's Riggins in trouble. Wes Hopkins is right on his back. And they finally wrestle him down. Wes Hopkins and others, including Reggie Wilkes. It's going to be 3rd down. We'll see where they mark him back at the original line of scrimmage.
Watch the pursuit of the Eagles. He's trying to stretch it to the outside. Look at the good angles. They have a good pursuit angle, and Wes Hopkins comes up there and makes the tackle and scrapes the ball loose.
That's a mugging, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a mugging.
3rd down and 10.
Got the hook in there and scraped it right out of it.
Muhammad goes right. Monk comes left. Didier splits left. Clark on a wing. And Theismann back to throw. Quick to the sideline, and it is caught. Caught for a first down inside the 20 by Monk. He's a magician. What a good throw by Theismann.
He threw that right on the money. Not deep the defensive back. It's off of Monk.
It was 3rd and 10. They were playing very loose, weren't
Yeah,
they?
they were, yeah. He thought by the time you see Herman Edwards, he likes to play the ball, and he thinks he has good enough recovery speed, but once the ball's in the air, he can make the play. But he was back there so deep that he couldn't make the play before the ball got there. It's the first down for the Washington Redskins.
At the 16 of the Eagles. Monk has caught 5 passes in each of the 3 games, and there's Byron Darby. Well, they had lost Tom Struthers at that left end spot last week. He's back in there now as Byron Darby goes to the sideline. Monk has caught 5 for 63 yards. That was good for 13 on 3rd and 10. Big throw, big play.
Talking to Monk, I asked him whether he'd rather leave the line of scrimmage from an anchored position or man in motion. He said, oh, I like the man in motion because they can't jam me nearly as well.
First down with Riggins. Take to him, pass, and drop at the 5-yard line by Muhammad. That was right in his belly. His hands got the way.
I don't care what you say. You see, this young receiver has never done much of that. Look at all the room he's got on the inside. Look how deep Herman Edwards is. And he breaks to the inside behind Hopkins. You see, the ball is right there at the numbers. He just dropped it. But with the Raiders, you know, really, he never had to catch those kind of balls. And it's evidently a problem for them because he hasn't had yet kind of work with those kind of catches.
I know you like those receivers that wear gloves.
Those gloves are murder.
2nd and 10.
Everybody's coming.
They dump it off to Griffin. And he got back to the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be 3rd and 10.
That should have been a better play than it was, Jack. They were blitzing up the middle, which means if you got everybody faded, you throw the ball outside while you ought to be able to make some yardage. But watch everybody coming on. Look at the blitz right up the middle. They're putting good pressure on him. Griggs is coming. Throws the ball outside.
Wilkes slows him down.
Wilkes slows, but he dances a little bit too much, Jack. Instead of making a decision and going with it, he did a little tap dance. By the time he made a decision, school was out.
Griggs made the tackle. 3rd and 10 at the 16. They're coming again. And he unloads it, and it is batted away. Well, that was a smart play by Albert Fowles. He knew he couldn't catch it. He made sure nobody caught it.
Good one-for-one coverage, and the ball looked like he was thrown a little bit behind. He reached up there very wisely. Look at it. Good coverage here. Fowles is looking at the ball all the way, and he knocks the ball away from the receiver, and it falls incomplete.
As they try to get it to Monk. Well, the Eagles have stiffened again, and here's a 32-yard try by Mosley. It was 2 for 2 today.
I really thought, Jack, I couldn't tell, but it looked like he had a chance to make the interception.
He missed it. A 32-yard miss by Mosley. That's the first one he's missed all year. And the Eagles will get the ball at the line of scrimmage with 12:55 left in the game. Yes, sir, the Eagles are ahead. You're the only guy I know has more money than Jack Kennedy.
Oh, yeah, don't I wish. Had a great visit with Jack the other day out at practice. Mr. Cook, chairman of the board, Washington Redskins, and he was ecstatic about his football team. He said, I think without a doubt we have the best talent that we've had here since I have been here. They're not playing like that yet, but they will eventually. He was very confident, and thought they would do a great job here this afternoon.
Randall Cunningham handing off, and the back slipped as he got into the line. Haddix.
Jack, interesting stat. Eagles have had 18 plays on first down. They've run the ball 13 times, and we're 5 for 5 on passing situations. Here's Mark Mosley.
Just missed from 32.
Just missed one is right. From 32, that's very, very unusual for him.
First miss of the year. Milot and Okowitz made that last tackle. 2nd down and 8. That's a fumble. And it belongs to the Eagles. Now, I thought his hand started forward, but evidently he didn't get it going, and Dexter Manley undressed him. And it's going to be a fumble and an Eagle recovery by the rookie Kevin Allen. And Manley is slow in getting up. It's 3rd and long.
Very obvious that Kevin Allen had a problem that time trying to block Dexter Manley. And a lot of people in the league, a lot of tackles have a lot of trouble blocking Dexter Manley, so it's no surprise that a rookie would have trouble. But talking to Kevin Allen last week, he said the run responsibility doesn't bother me much. It's the pass protection that's a problem.
12 minutes left. Philadelphia leading 9-6. Big hit right at the 10-yard line as they tried that little forward pass behind the line of scrimmage. Jaworski was in there for that play. It's the first time he's taken a snap today. And they tried that little forward pitch to Haddix, and Darryl Grant nailed it.
That's the old shuttle play that Dallas used so much from that formation. But they played it extremely well and almost lost the ball carrier on the play.
They say Cunningham's going to come back. He hurt his shoulder is being tended to. Now Michael Loran is in the end zone, and once more the Redskins should get good field position. Darrell Green is the deep.
They could try to put some pressure on him, not necessarily to block the kick, but just to make it a bad kick.
Very little pressure. Loran gets it out, and Green takes it on the 49. Coming over here, folks. There he goes. He lost yards on the return. Jerry Feeberg made that tackle. Second half of the doubleheaders, the 49ers visiting the Los Angeles Raiders. And have a capacity crowd. They're each 1-1. Those on our Washington affiliate will not see the game, but the Baltimore CBS affiliate will be carrying the game, and the rest of the nation will see that one, which figures to be a hard knocker. Redskins are at their 47. Rodgers in there. Fake to him, pass to Monk. How do you stop that? Ray Ellis wrestles him down at the 48.
They've had great success with that, with sending him in motion and throwing the ball out to the flat. And they did it again that time, but they don't get a quick cover on him. And he picks up about 5 yards on the play.
11 minutes remaining in this game with the Eagles on top. They've never been behind. 9-6. Second down and 5. Rodgers. Big run down to the 35. Tackled by Ray Ellis.
Boy, that's that counter tray again. Rodgers takes a step, watch the left guard brim, and also Jacoby pulling on the play. Rodgers follows the block. Jacoby gets a block in the hole. He fights right into the pile and comes right out the other end. Ray Ellis finally makes the tackle, number 24. Boy, I tell you, Rodgers gives him a spark.
Carried 11 times for 72 yards. First down.
There's the same play going the other direction with Hopkins.
Uh-oh. The Eagles have it. Hopkins, with only Theismann in his way. Theismann gets him out of bounds. And the Eagles do indeed have the ball.
There again, Jack.
Gary Cobb stripped it away.
But here again, he's carrying the ball in the wrong arm. And for that reason, the ball is knocked loose.
And Hopkins picks it up. And he returns it down to the Washington 25.
Here he comes. Ball in her right arm. That's where all the pressure's coming from. They scraped the ball loose. We brought up that point a little while ago.
That was Cobb who stripped it, and Hopkins who picked it up.
Cobb made the tackle, and Wes Hopkins picks it up and scampers down to the, 25-yard line.
25, first down, Eagles, and Cunningham is back in there. Hands off to Ernest Jackson. His blast is good for almost 5 yards. Olkowitz tackled it. We got an upset in the making, Henry.
We certainly have. We certainly have. And I was amazed, as really as poorly as the offensive team has played, talking about the Eagles the last 2 weeks, how confident they all seem to be coming into this game.
2nd and 6. Jackson again. Olkowitz missed him, and he got good progress. It'll be 3rd and short. Other games, you want to know what's going on? The Giants are playing at home, and they lead the Cardinals by 10, the undefeated Cardinals, in the 3rd quarter, 20-10. Darrell Grant made that last tackle. And we have Detroit trailing by a point at Indianapolis, 7-6, 4th quarter. New England by 3 over Buffalo, 4th quarter, 17-14. And Pittsburgh blanking Houston, 20-0 in the 4th quarter. New Orleans winning handily, 3rd quarter, 26 over Tampa Bay.
5 defensive linemen in the game again here.
3rd and 2. Rolling and looking for a run. It's wide open on the other side. Now he has to throw, and it's caught. And it is a touchdown to Ernest Jackson. Well, that's what that running quarterback will do for you. That's the first Eagle touchdown of the year.
I tell you, that was not a play that was a busted play. It was by design. He rolls to his left, with the idea of coming back to, he rose to his right, then came back to his left, and hit the receiver who was wide open coming across against the green. Watch this again now. Look at it. He rose to his right. Now he stops and goes to his left. Darrell Grant is in high. Look at Butts. Gives him a push. And he hits Jackson for the touchdown. And we talked about the people saying he didn't catch the ball well. Talking to Jackson, he said, I catched the ball well. They just never threw it to me. But he caught it there in good shape.
Extra point by McFadden and a 10-point lead for the Eagles. 8:38 left in the game.
Washington's RFK Stadium, the Bears and the Redskins.
After recovering the fumble, 25 yards in a minute and 21, 17 yards to Ernest Jackson, the Eagles' first touchdown this year, and the first professional touchdown pass thrown by that man, Randall Cunningham, University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Here's the kick by McFadden. Jenkins is deep for the Redskins. Took it on the 9, 10, 20. Across the 25 to the 26-yard line. Well, watch the touchdown again.
They got 5 defensive linemen in the game again, Jack. They've got a guy on the nose. Watch, he rolls to his right, then he stops and goes to his left. Grant had an angle on him. Man is in hot pursuit, 71. And he dunks the ball off to Jackson, who they say can't catch the ball well, but he sucks this one up and goes into the end zone for the touchdown. A great impromptu play, scramble play by Cunningham, or else it was by design. It's hard to tell. It looks like it was by design.
Al Theismann has Griffin in the backfield, and the ball's batted down, incomplete. Harry Cobb, the linebacker, got his hands up. Number 50. Boo, say the fans. Philadelphia hasn't won here since 1980.
Watch Cobb. He's playing, comes to the inside. He got a control blitz. He gets his hand up in the air and knocks the ball down.
You know, Hank, when Washington gets behind by 10 with 8.5 minutes left, you got Riggins and Rogers both out of the game.
You're right, because they got to throw the ball. They got to pump it up and get the ball down the field as quickly as they possibly can until they get their 2 big personalities out of the game.
Muhammad and Monk come to the right now. Monk goes in motion.
Look at all the room over here on Calvin Muhammad. Look at all this over here.
That's where Theismann is looking. He drops it off to Griffin on a screen. And Griffin gets pretty good yards out near the 28. It's going to be 3rd and long. Ken Clark, number 71, was there. They've used that play frequently today.
Yeah, they have.
Screen didn't quite get out there, did it?
No, the defensive people are playing so deep that they're trying to use a variety of ways to throw the ball in front of the defensive backs. But what's happening, the defensive linemen and linebackers are reacting extremely well and making a play.
Here's a critical 3rd and 8 for the Redskins.
7 defensive backs again, see?
Griffin in the backfield with him. Has time. Now he is hit and dropped. First by Brown and then by Clark, and it's 4th down, and the Eagles are just creaming him here. A newcomer, Smiley Creswell, number 82, was also in on that. That's the first sack of Theismann today.
Watch Brown, number 98, the defensive right end.
7 backs, you can't find anybody.
No, you really can't. There he came. He got a piece of him, and by the time anything happened, it was all over. The stadium fell in on him. Greswell that time was also in on the play. Number 92.
6th punt of the day by Hayes. That's how tough the Eagles are playing. They stay away from the kicker. Evan Cooper watches it bounce. He's going to try it and get a couple of yards. He's out to the 45. 7-11 left in the game. Next week in the National Football League, the Giants will be traveling to Philadelphia, and I'm sure that the Eagle fans will turn out en masse, and these Redskins have to go to Chicago, and they might have a record of 1-2 at that time.
It could happen, and as Bobby Beathard mentioned before the game on the sideline, he said, the thing that concerns me, if we don't play well today, then we might have a very difficult time playing well offensively against the next 3 teams, especially Chicago, next week with all the great variety of things they do defensively.
Yeah, because they play Chicago, then St. Louis and Detroit. Trying to keep the ball. And what's happening here with Jackson, who got the touchdown a short while ago. He's to the 30-yard line. Tony Peters finally stopped it.
Ron Baker and Leonard Mitchell both came off the ball in good shape. Yeah, look at the block they get on Butts. They knock out Mann to the outside, and he pops right through there, straight ahead blocking. Good running on the part of Jackson.
Good block by Michael Haddix on the play.
Haddix really did make a good block, number 26.
A 26-yard run, 12 carries, 71 yards for Ernest Jackson. They try him again. Well, you don't always run well against the Redskins. By the way, Hank, whenever a fellow like Jackson, an accomplished player, is traded from one team to another, he said everybody perks up their ears and say, what's the reason for that? And everybody thinks bad things.
Well, that's right. They're always looking for a reason for why he was traded, and they're looking for something bad instead of being something positive. This kid is an excellent running back, and as you saw, he can catch the ball, I think, much better than people give him credit for being able to catch it, and I think basically that was the knock on it.
It's 2nd down and 10 after that tackle by Butts. 6 minutes left. Jackson again. He's a worker, man. We saw him frequently with the Chargers. He ran to the 25, and Charles Mann made the tackle, and the old clock is killing the Redskins here.
Well, what they're doing now, Jack, they're using the outside receivers way wide, and they got a double wing formation with a back on with somebody outside of each tackle, and they're just blocking straight ahead, and he's picking his way and making good yardage on the play.
You know, if the Eagles on 3rd down and 6 can get a field goal on this drive, they'll lead by 13 and force the Redskins to make 2 touchdowns in the last 5 minutes. Haddix runs, and he's slammed down at the 27. So the field goal team will come on. Another good tackle by Okowitz.
It's ironic, Jack, that they do such a great job of running straight ahead. They have not run sideways very well. And in a critical 3rd down situation, they try to run sideways.
There's a flag down, by the way.
Uh-oh, Washington offside.
Uh-huh. That will not make it 1st down.
Delay the game. 12 men on the field on the defense.
12 defensive players. That's going to make it 3rd down and about 1.5 yards when they mark it off here.
That's great.
There's an old friend of yours, Rich Pettibone, next to Gibbs.
And he's done a terrific job here with the defense of the Washington Redskins.
Did we see Cunningham reading plays on his wrist?
Yeah, he's got him slapped on his wrist there. That's
Tom
right.
Matty, right? There's a name from the past.
Yep, and what a great player he was for the Baltimore Colts.
3rd down and 1.
5 defensive linemen in the game again.
Jackson gets a 1st down. So the Eagles keep the ball, and that's going to take us down to about 4.5 minutes left in the game. So Washington, the delay.
Excuse me, Jack. Mark Dennard and Steve Kenny, boy, they come after the ball that time. They get a good surge, and the ball carrier Jackson is following the surge and making good yardage on the play.
Picked up a 1st down. To the clock. 10-point lead for the Eagles. That penalty set up that 3rd and 1, and they got the 1st down. Okowitz with another tackle. Jackson wants it again, and he drives near the 15. Take us to the 4-minute mark.
Herman Hunter that time was on the wing on the right side, outside of the right offensive tackle, that double wing formation, and they seem to be having good success with that. They're just blowing right off the ball and blocking straight ahead. Stuart Anderson and Okowitz were involved in the tackle.
Well, after this hard-knocking game, you're going to see more of the same on CBS with the 49ers and the Raiders. One of those teams will be 1-2 when the day is over. They'll play before a big crowd out in California, and you'll see the game here on CBS. And our Baltimore affiliate will carry it here, though the Redskin affiliate will not because of the NFL rules. The ball's at the 15-yard line, and it's 2nd down and 7. And the Redskins have called a timeout. Each team has 2 left in the game. And Joe Gibbs is trying to figure out how the heck to get the ball and how to get back into the game.
You know, did you notice yesterday talking to the Eagle players, everybody to a person, everybody to a man, really exuded a lot of confidence in the young quarterback, Randall Cunningham. They all said he's learning, but he's going to be super, and he's going to get it done for us, and that kind of thing. And I'm amazed how much he's improved in just 1 week. He looks much, much better this week than he did last week, and that's justified because he spent all that time working with him on number 1 unit.
2nd down and 7.
Look at all the room on the left side again, Jack.
He slides gets down and a flag goes down. He's inside the 15-yard line. Olkowitz with another tackle.
Looked like it might have been Spagnola.
You mean he held?
Well, I don't know what happened, but it might have been John involved in the penalty on the play. Let's see what they call.
Offside against the Eagles. You could tell something was amiss when they snapped the ball. Well, that slows them down. They were perking very well.
Offside, offense, number 81.
Oh, 81.
Second down.
And the wide receiver, Kenny Jackson. No excuse for that, Hank.
No. All he's got to do is look inside for the ball, wait for it to snap, along with listening for the count.
2nd and 12 at the Washington 20. There's Kenny Jackson going off the field. Replaced by Garrity, who's to the right.
Somewhere down there close, they're going to see that draw play, I bet, Jack, but they got to get close.
I don't think they'll throw. Do you? There's no need to throw.
No, I wouldn't think so.
Maddox carried for a few up the middle, and Todd Liebenstein made the tackle, number 79. There's Jaworski, and by the way, Cunningham has said some nice things about Jaworski.
Yeah, Jaworski has really helped him as much as he possibly could or can during the course of the week. And it's been a big help, and Cunningham made a point to mention how much of a help Jaworski has been.
Now the Redskins are forced to expend another timeout. And they do so with 3:28 remaining. They have one left, as you see. The Eagles have two, plus the 2-minute warning. We'll give a timeout for either. And there's Joe Gibbs. And the gentleman on the far right in the jacket, curly hair, scratching his nose, Wayne Sevier. He's a special teams coach. And Rich Pettibone is behind him with a baseball cap.
Yeah, Pettibone's got the headphones on right there to the left of our picture right there. Got the paper in his hand. He's got to be very concerned. And he was concerned going into the game because he didn't know what quite to expect from this young quarterback, Randall Cunningham.
This telecast, presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Washington Redskins and the National Football League is prohibited. 3rd down and 9. And they are going to throw. It is dropped by Spagnola, the tight end. The defensive back, Dean and Peters were both there. Somebody might have gotten a hand on the ball, but that could have been 6.
Yeah, he looked like he didn't see the ball correctly or something the way
No, nobody touched it.
Nobody touched it. He just dropped the ball. That's all it was to it. It was perfectly thrown right on the money.
Shame on you, John. And look what the quarterback.
Watch Cunningham.
Oh, smokes, he said.
Mackerel, he said.
Here's a field goal try of 35 yards by McFadden. He's kicked 3 today. And he makes it again. And the score goes to 19-6. So the Redskins need 2 touchdowns. McFadden's a happy fella. A most happy fella. 3:20 left in this game. Hank, you and I have been coming here frequently. You just don't beat the Redskins here on their turf. In fact, they've won 8 in a row here and all.
You're right. You're sure right, Jack. But again, it's very obvious from an offensive standpoint, they are out of sync. They are not playing like they're capable of playing, like they usually play. And it's very obvious and very noticeable. They can't figure out what's wrong. Joe Gibbs said, I did a lot of things in training camp, try to make us fresh and ready to go when we came out of the starting blocks, but it just hasn't worked. And I don't know why we're not playing well offensively.
Joe Gibbs said he changed his entire training camp routine to try to avoid this slow start. McFadden has just equaled his previous high, 41 yards, 36, 37, and 34. 4 field goals in one game. Another good kickoff to Jenkins from the 2-yard line. The Eagles have been tough tacklers today. We're down to 3:10 left as Theismann and company have to get to work. Major Everett, captain of the special teams, made the tackle.
One thing about Washington since Gibbs has been here, Jack, is very obvious they have not been a team that gets off the block very quickly. In 81, they were 0-2, 82, 2-0, 83, 1-1, 84, 0-2, 85, 1-1. So, you know, it's a funny thing why they started so slowly, but that's been their personality, and Joe talked about it in great detail the other day, and he did so many things to try to change it, but it still turns out to be the same. They get off to a slow start.
And in 82, they won the Super Bowl game, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
We have an injured player, and And that's Paul McFadden, the kicker. Well, somebody take a shot at him way back upfield. McFadden is stretched out. It happened about 25 yards away from the action, back upfield. Tonight on CBS, we have 3:10 left here in this game, 60 minutes. Murder, She Wrote, Crazy Like a Fox, and Trapper John, M.D. The usual great lineup of outstanding TV on CBS tonight. Well, McFadden is up and walking off. Somebody dinged him.
Yeah, he must have just got a bad shot, an unexpected shot. But he's walking off the field in good shape. He got a little help there, but he's seemingly he's going to be all right.
It happened well away from the focal point of the action. He's been a dandy performer today. The ball is at the Washington 24. 6-7 defensive backs for the Eagles.
It looks like, again, something in the middle would be appropriate if they can get the ball in there in good shape. There it is.
And Monk catches it inside the 30. The fans want him to go downtown with every throw, don't they?
Yeah, and they can't. They got 7 defensive backs, 2 guys playing deep in the hole, and the middle is vulnerable if they can get the ball in there.
Hurry up offense. 2nd down and 4. Clark is after him, and he throws it away. 3rd and 4.
He had a chance to hit Monk right between the hash marks that time, but didn't have a chance to get the ball off because of the pressure. Had to escape to the outside and threw the ball away just to avoid the loss.
We get good news about Paul McFadden, the Eagle place kicker. He got a finger in the eye, and he's all right.
Now they have 8 defensive backs in the game with a 3-man rush, Jack.
That's illegal. They're all good, too, aren't they?
Yes, they are. They got everybody in the act right now.
2:43 left in the game. A critical 3rd down coming up. 3rd and 5. Look how deep those backs are. 3rd down. No pressure and a poor throw. Ellis is covering on Griffin. 4th down, and I think the Redskins might have to gamble here.
Listen, when you got 8 defensive backs you have to try to throw through. Boy, it's a tough problem. And
Theismann with bad numbers.
15 for 33, 124 yards.
One intercepted.
I don't think I've ever seen him have this kind of a day. And of course, it isn't so much Theismann. I think you have to give an awful lot of credit to the Eagles. They have really done a terrific job defensively. You have to give Marion Campbell, Fred Booney, that whole staff a lot of credit for the great job they've done defensively.
Here's 4th and 5. 4th and 5 on the 29-yard line.
You got a 3-man rush.
And they dropped it. The ball goes over to the Eagles. The ball a bit underthrown on 4th and 1, and Monk couldn't handle it. There have been a few drop balls today.
Yeah, there has been, but there again, that area was the open area. Threw it in the middle. He just dropped the ball.
And they take it over on the Washington 29-yard line with 2:33 remaining.
Watch Monk on the right of the screen coming across the middle. You see he's wide open, and the ball should have been caught. Normally, that's an easy catch for him. It was a little bit behind him, but in spite of that, he should have really sucked it up and made the catch.
There's Jaworski with a smile. That's the first smile we've seen from him this year. Since the 2nd game, at least.
Well,
he and Marion Campbell, they think they've got one tucked away. They give the ball to Haddix. And the clock winds down. Darrell Grant made the tackle. We'll come up to the 2-minute warning, and then the Redskins have only 1 timeout left. And they're trailing by 13 points, and they expend their final timeout right here.
Boy, coaching is a mysterious business, Jack. You know, you watch this team practice, and I've said this many, many times, and I'll say it again. I think of all the teams I watch, probably the Redskins are the best rehearsal team that I've seen. They do things precisely right. They get the field marked properly. They got everything set up perfectly. Had an official watching practice and looking for penalties and that kind of thing. The execution was sharp. Talked to Joe Gibbs yesterday, Joe Gibbs and also Joe Theismann. And Joe said that very honestly, you know, it was tough for me to recover from the Dallas loss. I didn't get over that till about Thursday of the next week. But I'm back in the groove and I feel great. And all the pieces seem to be there, but they just don't fit.
The referee came over and told Joe Gibbs, you have no timeouts remaining. They're talking about next week, I guess, against the Bears in Chicago. Theismann and Gibbs, and there was real concern expressed by the head coach yesterday, and apparently for good reason. Other games. You want to know what's going on elsewhere? Here it's 19-6 Eagles. There's our first final, and Pittsburgh beat Houston by the score of 20-0, bouncing back from their loss to Cleveland. And the Giants in great shape, leading by 17 in the fourth quarter. And both of those teams will be 2-1 when the day is over, apparently. We have more scores for you. Cunningham to Haddix. Oh, fake, a good fake, too. And the mistake was, no, he didn't go out of bounds. The clock continues to wind down. On the little bootleg, as he tried to pick up the first down, did not do so. It's third down. And now we have the 2-minute warning. He did stay in bounds as Raphael Cherry bumped him out of bounds. 2 minutes left. Eagles pulling off an upset.
Very unusual picture. Here you see Joe Gibbs, the head coach of the Washington Redskins, and Joe Theismann, his quarterback, sitting on the bench with 2 minutes to go.
They've been there for about 8 minutes.
Yeah, and they're talking about something. They're talking about evidently what went wrong today. They want to make sure that they get off to a good start next week. They're talking to each other, trying to find out what the other guy thinks maybe, or Joe Gibbs is trying to make sure that Theismann realizes that he might have a bad day, but he still feels strongly about his ability. He's going to continue to play. They're going to do things better. But something's going on that's very, very unusual with the head coach and the quarterback both sitting on the bench with the game still 1:54 left in the contest, and they're talking about something pertaining to this game and pertaining to this team.
Eagles,
interesting.
Yeah, the Eagles tried to get a first down, and they came very close to it. I think they're short. It'll be fourth down. The Redskins cannot stop the clock. 1:54 left, and as soon as they measure and set the ball, they'll start the clock again. They are short by about an inch. Old Peepers is still working, eh?
They're good. Well, they ate those carrots last night. It always helps.
Fourth down. They're just going to run for it, even if they turn it over to the Redskins, while they have a 13-point lead with 1:54 remaining. Look at the empty seats here in this park, and the people have escaped.
Yeah, it doesn't take long for them to evacuate the premises.
They can read the scoreboard, and they know what they saw.
Now they got Calvin Muhammad on the bench on the other side of Joe Gibbs. They got Theismann, Muhammad, and also Joe Gibbs all sitting on the bench talking about something.
They see a quarterback sneak here. Fourth down. Yep, and that was pretty dangerous. And he tried to reach over the top. He's got a first down with all of that struggling. He does have.
You know, Jack, one thing about this young guy, he really has to have big hands and strong hands. The way he handles the football, we've seen him get hit from all angles in the last 2 weeks. He has yet to fumble, except the one last week where we really thought it was an intentional grounding, but they called it a fumble.
Have we mentioned his brother yet?
Well, Sam Bam Cunningham, yeah. What a great running back he was for Southern California and the New England Patriots. But this kid is a terrific athlete, and we said at the outset, he's going to make things happen.
He got a first down.
And he will.
He almost handed the ball to one of the Redskins reaching over the top. There's Marion Campbell trying to keep his club alert for the final 1:32, and in fact it's over because on first down the Redskins can't stop it, and so Cunningham will just snap the ball a few times. As this routine is going on, let's check some scores of other games. Gave you the Pittsburgh final earlier. They beat Houston 20-0. Indianapolis, trying to win their first, hangs on to a 1-point lead over Detroit. In the fourth quarter, 7-6. And quite a game between New England and Buffalo, 17-14 New England. Fourth quarter, New Orleans 20-6 over Tampa Bay, fourth period. That score has remained that way for quite a while. And Denver and Atlanta in a shootout, 34-28 in the fourth quarter. And a tie in the fourth quarter, San Diego and Cincinnati.
Another one of those great defensive games.
Yeah. And Dallas leading by 13. Danny White caught a touchdown pass in that game, by the way, thrown by Jones. There is a penalty. Declined. Second down. Clock running. Now they put the time back on the clock. They declined the penalty, so it's second down. Officials have handled this one in good shape. It was wild here last week, wasn't it, Hank?
It really was.
That Houston game and the catch and the ruling. But that goes on in a lot of games, a lot of stadiums every Sunday. We'll start the clock again after this snap. And there you see it. 1 minute left. There's Theismann along with Muhammad. They've got a week's work ahead of them. Executive producer of CBS Sports, Terry O'Neill. Senior producer, Chuck Milton. Produced by Mark Arnold today. Bob Dumpy, the director. John Fortunato, the assistant director. Thanks to all of the crew. This doesn't happen very often. Coming down to the 30-second mark. Redskins are out of timeouts. Cunningham taking a look at the clock. And this game is over because the 30-second clock will not force them to snap the ball again. In fact, the game clock and the 30-second clock are right with each other. Well, congratulations, young man. And congratulations to Marion Campbell. Both of these teams are 1-2 now. And apparently the Giants and Cardinals are going to be 2-1. It's going to be quite a division, Hank.
It's going to be wild right down to the finish. It's going to be a stock market season. Up and down for all teams. And it's going to be exciting and interesting.
We had a 6-6 tie at the half. But there's the final. Eagles by 13. Stay tuned for the second game of our doubleheader where the 49ers face the Los Angeles Raiders. CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League will continue after this word from your local station.